You're looking at pictures high atop District Stadium in North Kansas City, Missouri. Site of tonight's Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week, a top 25 battle between two undefeated teams, Blue Springs South and the Northmen of Oak Park. Alongside our color analyst Chris Sanders, quarterback of the Kansas City Brigade, I am Brad Porter. Temperatures tonight plunging in to the mid-30s. Now, Chris, you're a guy who played his high school football in Dallas. You guys can pack up and go home, right?
Pack up and go home. This is cold, and like we said, one of the first freezes of the year, so these guys are not used to playing in that, and it looks like a beautiful night, but gosh, when that sun goes down, that wind kicks up out here, it's going to be a little something different.
Yeah, not a cloud in the sky, just some contrails from the airplanes. Let's talk about Blue Springs South and their defense. They just don't give up very many points.
Don't give up very much at all. They've only given up around 11 points a game, which is huge when you're 6-0 like that, and that's really the reason their offense is so successful and their team is so strong. To have a defense like that's really going to carry you into the postseason.
Now, their quarterback is Blaine Dalton. He is only a sophomore. Take me back to getting those starts when you're just a kid, and it's a big, high-pressure game.
Well, as a sophomore, I was playing JV at that time, so a kid that doesn't have a lot of starts under his belt, but it's great. Again, back to the defense. They don't keep him on the field a whole bunch. They give him the ball back in good situations, give him short fields to work with, so he's going to be the one that's going to really make a difference. You see him with no sleeves on there. The kid's ready to play, and he's going to have to make a couple tough passes here to make a win tonight.
On the other side of the field, Oak Park had a tough overtime game last week. Their quarterback is Alex Ross, son of the head coach, Keith Ross.
Well, he knows the game plan then, I guess. He knows that when he goes home at night, he leaves the school, he's not worried about homework, he's worried about the playbook. So that's something different for you. But when you have a strong running back like he has behind him, Darrell Childs, they're going to have something different. Quarterback-running back combination is going to be the difference tonight.
All right, you manned up for the live shot here by wearing the T-shirt. I have no pride. I put on the big, heavy jacket. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. The Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week, Blue Springs South, Oak Park. It's next on Metro Sports.
The High School Game of the Week is brought to you by Hy-Vee and their 20 Kansas City area employee-owned Hy-Vee locations.
And welcome back to District Stadium in North Kansas City, one of the classic historic places to play high school football in the metro area. Tonight it's Oak Park against Blue Springs South, two undefeated teams from the suburban Big 7. Blue Springs South, coached by Greg Oder, took over the program in 2001. He's 41-15 in 6 seasons as head coach. After back-to-back 6-4 seasons, his team is undefeated, and they'll head into district play looking to make a run. On the other side, it's Oak Park. Keith Ross, his 22nd year as head coach, a record of 163-71. A big overtime win last week over Lee Summit North to keep their record perfect at 6-0. Chris Sanders, quarterback of the Kansas City Brigade, joining us on the broadcast tonight. Chris, we talked about the wind that was howling through the stadium in pregame. It is now gone dead.
Gone dead. And you listen to those stats by those coaches, how long they've coached and their records. And, you know, they went in the locker room talking to those kids saying, hey, you know, I remember back in 10 years ago, it was -20 out there back in September. So these coaches know what it takes to win, and they've had great programs, and they're going to continue having great programs. How they stay tonight, both 6-0.
You get a cold game like this, probably want to keep the ball on the ground. A lot of guys wearing gloves out there tonight. We saw that in pregame.
A lot of guys wearing gloves, and we'll see who holds on to the football, because like we said in the pregame, there's different things that are going to happen tonight that you're not used to when the weather's nice, when you're playing in elements that you've been training through all summer. Now it's something totally different.
Brian Garrity will kick off for Blue Springs South. He is their place kicker. Oak Park will receive. Blue Springs South actually won the toss, and they deferred to the second half, so Oak Park will receive the ball and defend the south goal here at District Stadium. Helmets are in the air, hands are in the air. We're ready for football at District Stadium. Kick is low, bouncing at the 20-yard line, fielded by Oak Park. Brought up through the middle, got a seam, and Oak Park will start with the football from their own 30-yard line. They're in business there in the first quarter.
Morgan Ward there on the return, number 16, and you see these pretty, look at those jerseys. They got the dark blue with the light blue. That's good for a little cold night, isn't it?
Absolutely. Keep it a little bit warm. That's Alex Ross, the senior quarterback here at Oak Park, 6 foot 185, son of the head coach Keith Ross. I talked to him briefly before the game. I said, what's it like to coach your son? He said sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and that's about all he had to say about that. Power I formation for Oak Park. No receivers. This is their game. They flat run the football, and they pound it a lot to that left side of the offensive line.
If you see there, they got all 11 guys right in there, inside the hashes, and And that's going to be a difference. And Blue Spring South actually has their safety now. Number 1, Jeremy Mack, within 7 yards of the line of scrimmage. So they're going to pack him in there just the same, and it's just going to be hard-nosed, just hit him in the mouth football.
And they'll mark it off 5 yards, so Oak Park already behind. 1st and 15 before the first snap of the football.
That's a hard way to start out right there. You know, the head coach is hating that.
Yeah, Keith Ross is kind of shaking his head there. You got to make sure you have enough guys in the backfield. You have no receivers out there. 26, Jarrell Childs, he's in business right up the middle. And as we said, that is the game for Oak Park. Power, run football, and Blue Spring South. Big, tough start. Take a look at that offense for Oak Park. Quarterbacked by Alex Ross. The offensive line, Goodwin, Kenzel, older brother, played football here years ago. Solid football player, Dobbins. You got Boone and Haynes, the wide receivers, along with Stroop. They run an X, a Y, and a Z in the wide receiver set. Of course, Jarrell Childs. And the fullback is Jordan Owen, just a sophomore, responsible for blocking up front.
It's hard to declare them wide receivers when they're so close to the line.
There are no receivers. Triple I formation now for Oak Park. Childs all the way in the back. See if they run any misdirection. They won't. It's just straight ahead football out to the 30-yard line, to the original line of scrimmage, pardon me.
When you start out with an offense like this and you're behind 1st and 15 from the beginning, you just run a little lead play there, but you got to get more than 3 or 4 yards when you start off with back 1st and 15 every time. So an offense like this is not really designed to overcome 15 yards in 3 plays.
Now going to be 3rd and 10 in the Oak Park 30-yard line. They'll change out some personnel. Play clock is already down to 10 seconds, and Oak Park has not broken the huddle. They better take a look down the field of that play clock or snap this ball in a hurry. One of the two. 2 seconds left on the play clock. Close call for Oak Park, but they get the snap off. Ross outside pass caught by Jared Boone, 6'2", 170-pound senior. Stands out in the crowd. Most of the guys under 6 feet in the Oak Park offensive lineup.
And what you couldn't see there is actually Alex Ross had to run to the sideline to get the play from the sideline, so he had to run all the way back on. You might be sitting at home saying, well, why did it take them so long to snap it? That's why. He didn't have anybody coming to give him the play.
Oak Park will punt the football on 4th and 4 from their own 34-yard line. Blue Spring South has called a timeout. They want to think about this or check their personnel. Awful early in the game to spend a timeout when you just stopped your opponent on 3 and out.
Well, they had about 8 guys on line of scrimmage there looking maybe do some kind of pump block. Maybe they thought, heck, we'll just take the position here and just go with that.
Dante Strickland is the kick returner for Blue Spring South. He's also their #1 wide receiver. Coach Oder will get in and regroup his team before they take this punt.
Well, I guess they're happy now that wind stopped blowing so much, because now they can get good field position on this return.
And we walked around on the field before the game. The middle of the field is pretty worn out, but the grass that they've let grow to a pretty good length. I asked Coach Oder about that. He thought it might be a little shorter, maybe a little bit of strategy there.
I think so, but I think either way you hit this ground tonight, it's going to be cold and it's going to hurt.
Dante Strickland back to receive the punt from Mike House on 4th and 4. Punt is up clean, short to the right side. Strickland will not even make a run at it. He'll just let it bounce. Joel Justice down there to down the football for Oak Park. So Blue Spring South takes over on their own 25-yard line. No score here in the first quarter. And Oak Park, the Blue Spring South quarterback Blaine Dalton, just a sophomore at 6 feet, 195 pounds, a young kid in a pressure situation, Chris.
Pressure situation, and as a sophomore, you don't really have that many games under your belt, but if you have 6 wins coming in, you feel pretty good about yourself.
They'll line up Jeremy Mack out wide to the right side. Dante Strickland out there as well. 2 tight ends. First play of the game. That's a handoff left side. Blue Spring South picks up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5. From their own 32-yard line. Offensive starters for Blue Spring South. It starts with the quarterback, Blaine Dalton. But up front, this is a very veteran offensive line. 4 starters. Kyle Sutoff, Chris Moorfield, Dean Grace, Andrew Owen, and Zach Wilson. We'll talk about Grace later in the game. And Bartlett, Max, Strickland, Simpson, and Brooks. For Blue Spring South. Mack lines up wide right. Strickland out left. Handoff up the middle. Shane Simpson for a short gain. Be 3rd down and 3. Defense for Oak Park. 4-man front. Ron Haynes, Josh DeGerald, Cameron Madison, Aaron Childs. 3 linebackers for the Oak Park: Jordan Owen, Aaron Puckett, Jarrell Childs, and 4 defensive backs: Cameron Bentley, Dane Hilton, Morgan Ward, and Jared Boone. Blue Springs South, 1 receiver to the left, 1 receiver to the right. 2 running backs. On 3rd and 1, they'll power. Quarterback sneak. Blake Dalton up the middle left side. He's got it easy and more. Gain of 5 yards for the sophomore quarterback.
That shows you how much push that offensive line is getting when you run a quarterback sneak. It's 3rd and short, and they get right at 5 yards. Wow, that's a great carry, and they're really blowing them off the ball.
And you notice number 76, that right tackle, runs 325, but there it is. It is all Blue Springs South, all power game up the middle.
325, that's a big boy. I don't care what the level you're at.
Now Blue Springs South will send their 3 receivers out to the left side. Empty backfield. Now Max splits off to the right. Dalton surveys the defense. Kick starts Mack, puts him in motion, drops back, looking for Mack all the way, eludes a defender, tucks and runs. He's going forward for yardage, maybe a gain of 2 on the play. Had to adjust after some short pressure from Oak Park.
I don't know if it was called that way or if he just decided he was going to keep the ball himself, but you saw him actually pump to the left there, dropping back. Dalton pumps to the left, comes back to right, and good decision just to keep it and get forward.
Aaron Childs was coming with a head of steam and maybe overran Dalton just a little bit. Dalton decided to tuck and run. Mack may have had a defender all over him as well. Now, 2 receivers out to the right side. Strickland and Mack. Backfield, Stephen Brooks. And there it is, handoff. Tony Randolph rolling left side. He's close to a first down, maybe a half-yard shy.
You see this, you have 2 little running backs actually in this backfield. You have Brooks, and Brooks actually threw a block there. Randolph watched number 21, Brooks, actually seal the outside DB. Then Randolph could get to the outside and get more yardage.
Brooks worked his way back in the lineup, and they did get the first down, just did, so it'll be 1st and 10 from midfield. Randolph back in the lineup last week after missing a game and a half with an ankle sprain, scored a touchdown in that victory over Ray Peck for Blue Springs South. Stephen Brooks, the fullback, will split out just to the left of Blaine Dalton. A couple of receivers on the right side, 1 to the left. And sometimes they run this quarterback option out of the shotgun formation, does Blue Springs South. Let's see what they do here. Dalton gets the ball. There it is. He keeps it rolling left side. Got a block. Big number 76 out front. First down, Blue Springs South. Right at the first down marker. Zach Wilson, 325 pounds, out front leading his quarterback.
Well, you told him what was coming, didn't you? That's the play.
Scouting tip on that one.
Scouting tip on. I wonder if they watched the same field as you did, Oak Park. This is actually a little spread formation everybody's running in college. He reads the defensive end and he tries to give it to the running back, and he decides that it's better for him to keep it. Then Dalton just keeps it and gets outside for the first down.
Another first down for Blue Springs South, just inside the Oak Park 39-yard line, and Dalton again in that shotgun formation. He'll readjust Tony Randolph over to the right side as he looks over the defense. Snap, there's a handoff to Randolph, right side, ball on the ground. Oak Park says they have it. And they do. The Northmen get a turnover. A big, big play for the Northmen. After a 3-and-out with Blue Springs South charging into their territory, the Northmen come up with a huge play. Josh DeGerald, 6 feet, 215-pound senior, gets his hands on the football.
That's the problem you have in this offense is the quarterback has to make his decision early, and if he makes it late, it ends up on the hip of the running back, and you have a fumble every time.
Oak Park will go into offensive mode and a chance to take advantage. Early in this ball game, just over 6.5 to play. Oak Park takes over on their own 40-yard line, short field for the Northmen. Again, triple I formation, and there's Gerald Childs. He gets pushed back, trying to fight back to the line of scrimmage. A host of white shirts from Blue Springs South.
You gotta love that when your running back, Stephen Brooks, is also playing linebacker for you and getting in there making the tackle on the other side of the ball.
We thought Blue Springs South might try to stack it up, 8 men in the box and force Oak Park to throw. We'll see if they do that. Now, Blue Springs South a little bit different. They run 5 defensive backs. They insert an extra safety. They call him a jag. That's Tony Randolph, and occasionally he'll walk up to that line of scrimmage, give me a blitz look, and try to force something in the offense. For the first time, Oak Park offsets their running back formation. Still have Childs back there deep, and it'll be Childs on a sweep play to the left side. And he's immediately met with resistance, maybe a gain of 3 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 8 from the 43-yard line.
That shows you the speed of the defense there when you run a sweep and they get out there so fast that Oak Park is used to running the ball on the inside. When they go wide there, the Blue Springs South defense, look out for that 1 and 2, 2, 3. There's 4 or 5 guys getting there every time when you go outside. So they know when that's coming that they're going to make the play.
Stephen Brooks making the initial contact. The junior, 6 feet, 180 pounds. He is always around the football, says the scouting reports. Again, they'll offset it to the right side, will Oak Park. With Childs in the background. Drop back pass. Alex Ross looking downfield. He's got a man. Now he overthrows everybody. Quadruple coverage by Blue Springs South. Maybe an ill-advised pass for the senior quarterback.
Well, you say ill-advised, but they only had 1 receiver out on in a pattern, so there's nobody else underneath to really take underneath guys away. So all the DBs dropped back on Brent Haynes there and just said, hey, well, he's the only guy running downfield. Let's cover him on 3rd and long.
Jordan Owen again back to punt. Dante Strickland will receive for Blue Springs South. So once again, Blue Springs South's defense steps up and forces 3 and out. 2 3 and outs again, which is big, especially after your offense turned it over. Here's the punt. Mild pressure. Dante Strickland going back, and again, he's going to look at it bounce. An Oak Park player touched the ball. Now down at the 12-yard line of Blue Springs South. They'll have a long way to go to make up for that fumble on their last possession.
Well, they got to be happy because they were moving the ball before, and when you have a turnover in a big game like this early in the ball game, it really is going to shoot your confidence. We'll see how they come out and if they really believe, hey, you know, we knew what we were doing. Let's keep doing it and see if they stay with the same offense.
Coach Yoder, a little prep talk on the sidelines, talking with Kean Porter, a wide receiver DB. Here's Blue Springs South. They'll send a couple of receivers out to the left side. They'll line up Tony Randolph as the lone running back. That's 7 yards deep. And it'll be a handoff to Randolph, rolling around left side. Got some open room, stiff arm. Gain of 6 yards on the play. Clock running as he stays in bounds. Blue Springs South on the move once again.
Actually, there's a little penetration. Watch there, number 44, Brent Haynes. Actually almost took the quarterback and the running back down at the same time. Watching it through there, number 44 in the backfield. Should just follow the ball. Everybody, when they get through there, all the defensive linemen want to tackle the quarterback every time. It's like fresh meat. They never get to hit him.
You know what that's all about.
Yeah, I know.
Quarterback. Here we go, 2nd and 3 for Blue Springs South. The backfield, handoff, short gain for Blue Springs South. Flag on the play. Dalton on the keeper. Rick Bunch, the referee tonight, the white hat. We got a face mask penalty against Oak Park. Keith Ross can't believe it.
Oh, that's going to give him a 1st down there, so you stop him. Actually would have had 3rd down, and now it's automatic 1st.
Now walk it off. This will be the 5-yard variety, but again, it'll be a 1st down. Take a look at it in slow motion here and see if we can't find who got a hand on the face of Dalton. It's like Cameron Madison, the sophomore. There it is, incidental.
That's a little tight there, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like maybe just grazed his helmet. I'm not sure he really grabbed onto anything.
Oh, you know, it's a quarterback. I probably would have got up saying, hey, grab me, grab me.
Jeremy Mack goes out to the left for Blue Springs South. Strickland out on the right side. Tony Randolph, lone man in the backfield. Dalton under center, drops back, fakes the handoff to Randolph. He's looking downfield, wants to air it out. Pressure coming, dump off to Randolph. He's met immediately. Fumble, loose ball on the ground. Blue Springs South jumped on the football.
Got to be an incomplete. There we go. Signal incomplete pass there.
Aaron Childs, the 6'1", 196-pound senior, all over the play. They'll knock Blue Springs South back, and here it is, the pressure.
Looked like they set it up pretty good. They had some linemen out front, and Randolph, as soon as he caught that ball, he didn't have a chance to even hold on to it. He got knocked out.
And Childs is right there to apply the hit. Didn't even really go for the strip, just a jarring hit to knock the ball loose. Now it'll be 2nd and 10 for Blue Springs South at the 27-yard line. Brent Haynes, a junior, waiting to go back to work. Strickland and Mack out on the right side for Blue Springs South. Tony Randolph in the backfield. Blitz coming from Oak Park. Did they guess right? Dalton rolling out. He tucks and runs, making his way to the sidelines. He's got some hit as he goes out of bounds. Be close to a 1st down for the Jaguars.
That's why he's starting as a sophomore right there. That was actually a busted play. You see him turn around, looks to the running back. Running back went one way. quarterback went the other way, maybe Dalton messed that up, but when you can mess it up and get the first down, that's why you're playing.
Childs causing the disruption there.
Yeah.
And it will be a first down for Blue Springs South at the 38-yard line. Dalton does have 45 carries on the season, 124 yards. He's scored 3 times carrying the football, so does have the ability to break free. Strickland and Mack out on the right side, Randolph in the backfield. Dalton low under center, looking for Randolph, handoff left side, got a block, got some room, a gain of 3, 4, 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 44-yard line.
That's really a tough play as a quarterback to get to. You see Dalton, when he's coming out from under center, he's almost sprinting to get to the running back, which is a stretch play, which is almost really an NFL play that a lot of high schools don't run. So it's not a toss, it's not a lead, it's right outside the outside leg of the tackle, so it's a little wider. It's a different aiming point for the defense to get to.
Jared Boone in on the stop for Oak Park, and again, Blue Springs South. They'll send Strickland and Mack out on the right side. Going to stick with what works. A low position for Blake Dalton. He really gets in there under center. Handoff up the middle. That's Randolph. Immediately met at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got back to the original line. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 42.
I think that was 55 Aaron Puckett in there with a broken hand. So he's making plays. Look at him. He's got the cast on there. I wonder if the one with the cast on has a glove on that one or not.
Well, I don't know. A lot of padding. So we have one player from each team tonight wearing a cast. We'll talk about the Blue Springs South player at one point during the game. There's a good look at Aaron Puckett. It's a club, but they have to be padding on that, make sure it's a safe play. And Oak Park had too many men on the field. They had to spend a timeout as Aaron Childs came sprinting off. And they're going to discuss this, whether or not a timeout was called.
Actually, I believe the referee called his
timeout there. Now Dalton lines up in the shotgun. We saw this last time. It was a quarterback option play. In motion is Strickland. Fake handoff to Strickland. Dalton takes it. Near losing yards. He breaks free on the left side. Got some blocking downfield. A pickup of 20 yards from Blue Springs South. Initially stopped right about the line of scrimmage, but he got some room and shagged a tackler. And Blaine Dalton showing the wheels here, Chris.
I believe the guy he shook off there was 55 Aaron Puckett again. We said playing with one hand. He's in the backfield, can't pull him down. Why don't you look right out in front of him right there? Who is that? Number big 76 right there.
That's right.
That's your boy Wilson at 325 pounds, 15 yards down the field.
Coach says Zach Wilson getting a lot of mail. I wonder why at 325.
As a junior too, how about that?
Dalton back under center, Strickland and Mack out to the right side, Randolph in the backfield. Looking for Randolph, and there he goes, left side, got some blocks, got some room, and he's down the sidelines for another Blue Springs South first down. And Blue Springs South, their first possession, they put the ball on the ground and caused themselves a chance. Now they are deep into Oak Park territory.
We can really see a big difference in the offense here. They actually fake to the right, counter back to the left with 2 lead blockers. So it's totally different than Oak Park's style of going right at you, pound you, let's try to break it. They're actually developing something a little slower here in their offense.
Stephen Brooks, the fullback, a junior, out on the lead block play. Solid player for Blue Springs South. He's a junior at 6 feet, 180 pounds. There he is, number 21. You see him right there, Brooks. And Brooks will stay in the game, and he'll be in the backfield all by himself. Strickland and Mack out on the right side. First quarter winding down, no score, and offsides. Blue Springs South moved.
So that's tough when you're playing away, and there's big crowd here tonight. They came to see it. Even though it was cold, they said, we're going to come see a big ball game because this is one of the hottest things in Kansas City right now on Thursday night is this game on Metro Sports.
Well, they'll mark this off. It'll be 2nd and 15 from the 30-yard line. And here we go, your top of the screen, and there it is. Number 76 moves.
When he moves.
When he moves, everybody knows.
Everybody knows. That flag could have came all the way from the other side of the street. I think they would have known he was moving.
You mentioned out loud this stadium as I talked to Greg Oder, head coach of Blue Springs South yesterday, and he said this is one of the loudest stadiums they play in, and stadium that was built in the 30s. Coach Coyle, the history lesson before the game, built by members of the WPA program. A lot of brick, a lot of mortar, and it really holds that sound. And it's one of my favorite places to come and watch high school football.
It's a great looking place. You can tell it's got some tradition to it, and it's good to have a game, I guess. I'm sure they had a lot of championship and special games, big games, that tonight's just another one to add on the list.
And schools like Oak Park and Winnetonka, North Kansas City, all playing football here. 1st and 15 for Blue Springs South. Just over a minute and a half to play here in the first quarter on the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week. Strickland and Mack out to the right. Lone setback is Brooks. Dalton under center. There's a snap, lost the football, it's on the ground. Dalton jumps on it. Randolph maybe ended up with it. Blue Springs South holds on to the football, so 2 miscues, a penalty, and then a fumble.
2 fumbles. They're lucky to get that one back. That'd have been another huge turnover first quarter. Just got away from the center there too fast, and when you pull out like that and you step back and you don't bring the ball with you, it's going to happen every time. Again, it's cold. That ball, you don't feel it hit your hands quite as much as you would if it was a little warmer.
Maybe having trouble with the exchange. Dean Grace, the center, has a cast on his hand. Well, it's an interesting story. We'll talk about that, the situation he's working on. Now, fake handoff. Dalton's going to look downfield. Strickland and Mack racing down. He's got Mack open in the end zone. Overshot him. Jeremy Mack, the senior at 6'4", 200 pounds, was behind the defense. Oak Park, a big sigh of relief. That was nearly 6 points, Chris.
Wide open, and you see actually, I want to say the youth of Dalton, Blaine Dalton there, he pumps once and then throws the ball deep. So that one pump actually allowed him to throw it too far, if that makes sense. You know, I say allowed, but as a quarterback, if you don't throw it on time, something bad's going to happen, and incompletion is why.
Now 3rd and 18 from the 33-yard line. Big play here for Blue Springs South. Big play for Oak Park. Stephen Brooks, the fullback, is out on the right side, and so is Tony Randolph. 2 running backs out to the right side. They got 4 in formation. Dalton back, looking downfield. Looks, he's going left side. Got him, and up next, Mack again. Overshot him one more time. So they took 2 shots in the end zone on 3rd and long. Came away with nothing.
I think Mack was probably tired. He ran that first one deep, came back, and at the top ran a hitch and go on 3rd and 17, 18 yards. So the DB there has to get back. Number 24, Davery Mosley, he's got to get back. You see Blaine pump there. Nope, sets up, throws it deep. Mack actually has him beat. Good throw, just a little bit over his head, probably because he's a step slower. He just ran deep the play before.
Look at this, Chris. Blue Springs South is lined up to go for it on 4th and 18. 4 wide receivers in formation. Dalton looking right side. 1 man. He's looking for Jeremy Mack one more time. He caught it. Just inside the 5-yard line. Blue Springs South went for it. Chris, a gutsy call here at the first quarter.
I tell you what happened. The offensive coordinator was probably sitting upstairs and said, look, this kid right here, Jeremy Mack, is 6'4". Mosley is covering him at 5'7". So they came back and said, look, we're just going to throw a jump ball. Watch Mack actually shield Mosley out. Look at the height difference there. And so that's what happened. They said, you know what, we think we got a mismatch. We're going to take advantage of that. We missed the first one, missed the second one. Third time's the charm.
You know, each of those last 3 plays, Mack was lined up by himself on the opposite side of 3 receivers. They'll go back to a standard formation with Brooks and Randolph in the backfield. Now Dalton, there's a handoff. Randolph left side goes crashing in for a gain of 2, just shy of the goal line. It'll be 2nd down and 4 yards for Blue Springs South.
Well, remember the name Jeremy Mack now. I'm telling you, 6'4", 200 pounds. And Mosley, you know, I'm sure it's their best DB. That's why they put him on him, but he's 5'7". So that differential in height is going to be huge the rest of this game.
2nd and goal from inside the 5-yard line for Blue Springs South. Again, it's Brooks. And Shane Sampson in the backfield. That's Sampson going left side. He gets a man, bounces outside, into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Springs South. Jaguars will strike first. Shane Simpson, the first we saw of him tonight. Tony Randolph was getting a majority of the carries, but Simpson, the 6', 175-pound senior, gets his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, how about that? Let everybody else do the running and then take it and score at the end.
Sure.
We haven't mentioned him all night. All of a sudden he gets a handoff touchdown.
They do with just a few ticks left on the clock. Now Garrity on for the extra point, the left-footed kicker from Blue Springs South. And that's good. Blue Springs South takes a 7-0 lead as the final seconds still stand on the clock here in the first quarter. Let's take a look at this run again, and the run by Shane Simpson, pardon me.
Simpson, there you go. Actually, Brooks missed his block there a little bit, but Simpson just kind of took it up, cut up himself, and it's a good job getting upfield and get your head and shoulders going forward so he knows where that end zone is.
Number 81, the tight end, Kellen Bartlett, also had a pancake block on that play. Blue Springs South, they put the ball on the ground a couple of times. They went forward on 4th and long. It gambled and paid off. Greg Oder's in business here. 2 undefeated teams from the suburban Big 7 go head-to-head here in North Kansas City. And there is Coach Oder. Longtime assistant at Blue Springs South before taking over in 2001.
Well, when you have a defense like you got, you can say, all right, let's go for it on 4th down on the other end of the field. When you know your defense has 2, 3 and outs now, you can say, all right, we're going to take a shot, and if we do give it up, they have a long field to go.
That's the mascot for the Northmen of Oak Park. And it is kind of chilly tonight. That's kind of appropriate, isn't it, Chris?
I'd say that's good. I didn't know that's what a Northman looks like.
Garrity set to kick off. Oak Park, a quartet of receivers, gets a little more distance on this one. Fielded inside the 10. Oak Park got some room. Number 49.
He's a big boy there. I think he was heading the wall. He's the middle of the wall there, so he's actually not even supposed to touch that ball. But he took it and said, I'm going to get upfield and get all I can, looking to run over somebody.
Alex Ross brings his Northman to the line of scrimmage. Just 4 seconds left here in the first quarter. The Northmen are down 7. They'll start 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. 3 backs in the backfield, 1 wide receiver. And there's the handoff to Childs, looking right side, stopped, and maybe lost a yard or 2 on the play.
They just haven't had much success on 1st down, and as a running team, you got to get 2 to 3 yards on 1st down. They're getting 1, 1.5, so that's really not what they're needing to get them in a good position.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter of play. Blue Springs South strikes first. They're up 7-0 on the Northern Oak Park. We're back on the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week right here on Metro Sports. Pictures of downtown Kansas City, the view from across the river here from the stadium in North Kansas City. Blue Springs South up on Oak Park by a score of 7-0. And Oak Park goes back on offense as we begin our second quarter of play. 2nd and 9 from the 29-yard line. Handoff, rolling right side. Oak Park, gain of 1 yard on the play.
Looked like a little Bruce Springs offense there. They actually did a little counter step, little misdirection, but that defense is strong, and they're coming in 3rd and longs and 3rd and mediums and things like that. When you do that on defense, you're going to be very successful all night long.
Jordan Owen on the carry. Total yards in the game, Blue Springs South. Well, they've gotten a couple of cracks at it after giving up the football. They've marched 117 yards, and they lead by a touchdown. Now Ross in the shotgun formation, rolling left side, looking downfield, got a receiver by the sidelines. It's caught. Jared Boone over by the sidelines. 1st down, Oak Park. Oh, wait, Blue Springs South is saying that ball went on the ground. And the referee's going to bring that football back.
Wow, I like it. We got to see the replay on that one here. Little rollout, left-handed. Flips it out there. Great throw, unless he's juggling it here. Oh, he was.
Didn't have control before he went out of bounds. Good call by the officials. Good call by the coaches over on the side of Blue Springs South.
That's a tough call for an official when you're on the other team's sideline.
That's tough for Jared Boone. Good effort. Just didn't have control before he got out of bounds. Now Ross will line up in the shotgun formation again. Yeah, this is a punt, pardon me. Strickland's just going to let this ball drop, and it'll roll out of bounds at the 31. Guess we should explain there's some blockage here in the press box. Some of the windows you can't really see. So on occasion you might say shotgun when it's a punt play.
Sure, they're tricky.
But when you make a mistake.
There you go.
Of course, if you check your down and distance, that may help. So Blue Springs South will take over. They'll work with a relatively short field from their own 31-yard line, 1st and 10. 11:02 left to play in the second quarter.
I believe that's 3 and outs now.
Yes, it is.
That's why your yardage is going to be, we saw 14 yards in 1 quarter. That's why it's going to be like that.
Blaine Dalton, shotgun formation. Both times we've seen this tonight, we've seen him take off with the football. He's got 4 receivers. He's going to hand it off to Stephen Brooks. Hit by a host of Northmen. You can hear the popping all the way up here, Chris.
I told you. I saw a couple of helmets get knocked back there. Guys are really hitting it. We can hear it way up here. Hands it off, and Oak Park defense, they said, hey, we're going to come out here. We're going to play hard. They're knocking them around.
That was Scott Davis, a junior, on the carry. 5'8", 160 pounds. Davis is going to stay in the backfield for Blue Springs South.
How many running backs do they have?
About 46.
Wow.
Dalton sets his man in motion. Oak Park jumps. Dalton kicked his foot up in the air to start his receiver, Tony Randolph, in motion. And Oak Park went into the neutral zone. They'll march off 5 yards, so a 2nd and 8 is going to go down to 2nd and 3. Another mistake there by Oak Park.
Penalty is playing a big deal, and actually Oak Park had a lot of penalties last week in that game that they barely won against Lee Summit North. So again, it's coming back to get them.
So they'll march this down to the 38-yard line, does Rick Bunch, the referee here. 2nd down and 3 from there for Blue Springs South. And even in short yards, they're putting receivers out. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. The running back is Davis. Oh, they almost had, they got Oak Park again. They're going to get a 1st down again. Blaine Dalton lifted up his leg to set the receiver Randolph in motion. And again, Oak Park jumps off sides. Time now for the supersonic fan of the game, and there we are. You bring your sign, it says Metro Sports or Sonic, you'd be picked as our supersonic fan of the game. You receive a $10 gift card for Sonic, and we'll splash on the Hy-Vee High School game of the week. Sonic, it's not just good, it's Sonic good. I think she's going to make a lot of friends before she leaves the stadium.
She's excited, isn't she? Do they have hot chocolate at Sonic?
I was going to say, you don't want the limeades or the smoothies.
No, not tonight. Nice hot cheese tater tots.
Sure, absolutely. There we are, 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Blue Springs South did nothing on the last 2 plays except gain 10 yards on 2 penalties. Dalton back, going downfield. That's Mack. He's got his man beat. He's open. Oh, in and out of his hands, and the official on the play fell down before the football got there. In and out of the hands of Mack, and he can't believe it. Blue Springs South was looking at 6 more points.
I think the ref actually distracted Jeremy Mack.
We'll watch it again. Good play action fake.
Yeah, good play action. Look, the ref actually was in the way, had to move. Jeremy Mack hits him right in the chest. Perfectly thrown ball. Nobody even within 3 or 4 yards of him.
Mack comes to the short side of the field, and you can see him talking to himself as he lines up over there. They want that one back.
Well, he's now gone deep 4 times tonight.
You reset Randolph in the backfield, and it is Randolph up the middle for a gain of 5. The 3rd down and 5 from near midfield for Blue Springs South.
Well, a play like that, going back to the deep play, as much play action itself, as much as they run the ball, they have a receiver come across, fake to him, fake to the running back. The offensive line actually doesn't have to do as much because the defense is looking at so many different things that it now gives the quarterback time to sit back there and really make a good throw downfield like he did.
Blue Springs South looking at busting in Oak Park territory once again. They're on the board, 7-0. Goal line run by Shane Simpson, the senior. Dalton's got Randolph by himself in the backfield. There's a snap by Dalton, rolling right side. Randolph out front, being chased. Aaron Childs almost getting. Dalton escapes, throws the ball, just gets rid of it. Oak Park sidelines can't believe it. They wanted a sack, they wanted a grounding call, but Childs was all over the backfield. He's done that a handful of times tonight, Chris.
He got back there. Dalton's a hard kid to chase down. He's running the ball pretty well, and that's what he says. Him being a sophomore, he can do things with his legs that he showed before. Oh, he missed him. I can't believe he didn't fall down, but good job getting away, throwing that ball, and just punting.
Josh DeGerald also on the pressure there. Now for the first time tonight, Blue Springs South will have to punt the football. And Oak Park will get a chance. Number 21, Cameron Bentley back to receive the punts. Good blocking up front. Saw Childs almost getting on the bunt play. They're going to let this bounce and roll. Oh, good bounce for Blue Springs South that rolls to the 11-yard line. Oak Park will work with a long field, trailing 7-0, 9:10 to play in the first half.
That's a big snap, big series for the defense for Oak Park because they've only given up 1 touchdown now. Your offense is doing nothing for you, and 9 minutes left in the second quarter, you're only down 7-0.
Oak Park will try to regroup, and they'll have 1st and 10 from their own 11-yard line. Keith Ross looking to get his Northman going. Maybe a little bit lucky it's not 14-0 right now. The way Blue Springs South has run the football. You know, 1st downs tonight, Blue Springs South has 9. Oak Park, as you mentioned, 3 3-and-outs.
That's amazing.
And considering how much Blue Springs South struggled last week against Ray Pack, they had 3 1st downs in the entire first half. Had 6 in the 3rd quarter, that's when they did all their scoring, and none in the 4th. Immediately met at the line of scrimmage is Oak Park. Number 1, Jeremy Mack, the free safety in. As we said, they like to walk up those safeties to the line of scrimmage. Jordan Owen on the carry. He didn't get anywhere. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Oak Park.
I'll tell you what, if you don't have your volume turned up at home, you better do it now, because we can hear it up here, and I hope it's echoing all the way through, because these kids on both sides of the ball, offense, defense, Blue Springs South, Oak Park, they are hitting hard, and they were going to be here tonight and really put on the show.
Alex Ross back under center. 3 running backs in the backfield. It's going to be handoff. That'll be Childs. He'll be up the middle. Immediately stopped. Loose ball. Everybody's jumping on it. Who's got it? Blue Springs South says they have it. We'll wait for the officials. And it's a Jaguar football. So a huge turnover. Oak Park deep in their own territory. They give the ball back to the Jaguars. Killing themselves on offense. And actually, I don't know when you have a scrum like that, and you look at you have Childs actually up in the middle of everybody. Let's see if he gets stopped. He stopped there. It's hard to see with that many people in there. That ball, it did pop out, but was he still running or was he down? But they called it the other way. There's Robert Oswald, the 6'4", 195-pound senior. Stays all around the football all the time. 26 tackles. He leads the team. And Blue Springs South and Blaine Dalton go back to work. Shane Simpson, the lone back in the backfield, changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He's got Mack and Strickland out on the left side. And we have movement. Blue Springs South is going to lose 5 yards. They're going to have 2nd and 15 from the Oak Park 15. That's pretty impressive that Coach Oder has a sophomore in there and that he can teach a kid that young to check off the line of scrimmage. Of course, little off there, little jump by your tight end, Bartlett. But as a sophomore, to be able to know what's going on, know who to throw the ball to, know where to throw to, and still check off the line of scrimmage, that's impressive. It's really going to help his team in the long run. All right, 1st and 15 from near the 20-yard line. There we go, handoff right side. That's Simpson. He scored on the last possession for Blue Springs South. He's immediately tackled. Maybe lost a yard on the play. Josh DeGerald in on the play. Well, we talk about Blue Springs South defense, but that Oak Park defense is playing huge. They're making some big plays. A deep pass here or there, that would be the chance in a ball game, but 7-0, they're still in it, and they're still making Springs go south, you know. I like that. Bruce Springs going south on offense because they're losing yardage. Gerald Childs also in on that last play. It'll be 2nd and 12 from the 19. Dalton under center. Randolph in the backfield. Fakes left, goes up the middle. He's got a seam. Gain of 5 on the play. Blue Springs South, we'll take a look at their blocking, Chris Sanders. This Blue Springs South offensive line, it's pretty stout. They were talking about that misdirection. Actually, they locked up Brent Haynes a little bit, but he came off of the block and tackled the running back from behind for a short gain. Put him in 3rd and long. Brent Haynes in on the play for Oak Park. Maybe saved the big run. The hole opened up there, and Haynes got right in there as Randolph was going by. Randolph in the backfield, Strickland, Mack out on the left side. Fake the handoff, play action pass. Rolling left side is Dalton, throwing downfield, intercepted by Oak Park. Oak Park got the football. Jordan Owen on the play for Oak Park as he picks off Blaine Dalton. Blue Springs South a chance to go up by 2 touchdowns, and the Northmen come up with a big play when they had to have it. Well, as a quarterback, he's a right-handed quarterback rolling left. You see his shoulders actually facing downfield when they should be facing at the guy he's throwing to. So when he throws it like that, it's going to be off. The accuracy is not going to be there, and you're definitely not going to have as much strength behind it as you want, and that's what happens when you get an interception. Jordan Owen, the sophomore, intercepting Blaine Dalton, the sophomore. Owen, 6 feet, 185 pounds. Greg Oder will have to get his team back on defense, get them back in business. 3rd interception of the season for Blaine Dalton. Alex Ross, a chance. He's deep in his own territory. 1st and 10 from his own 10. 3 running backs, and they'll be the handoff. Childs rolling left side. And Blue Springs South gang tackling as they have from the first play of the game, Chris. The whole game, they've been coming downhill, and they know they're going to run it. So Oak Park's going to have to do something. Play action, bootleg, misdirection, screen. I mean, something's got to change for these guys because what they're doing is not working. Rodney Kincaid, Shane Simpson in on the play for Blue Springs South. Play called in on the sidelines from Keith Ross, and there's the frustration. And there's some disorganization. Oak Park is going to have to call a timeout. There is confusion on the field for the Northmen of Oak Park.
But now's the time just to be safe, take the timeout, make sure you got the play you want run, and if you don't get it in the next 2 plays, which they have not yet, if you have not get a first down, you got to punt, you got to play possession here because you're still only down 1 touchdown.
Keith Ross, Greg Oder, longtime Suburban coaches here. And in this stadium, Greg Oder, the head coach of Blue Springs South, told me it's been a house of horrors for Blue Springs South in their long history against Oak Park. Back in '99, turned the ball over 6 times in a game that was to decide the conference title. 0-2, down 13-10 with 2 minutes left, a chance to score. They fumbled the football and it was returned 95 yards for a touchdown. It happens over and over. Chilly night here. The students have brought out their blankets. And the wind we talked about in the pregame has been a non-factor. It died down almost immediately at the kickoff. And is that Mike White up there on the station? Freeze, he's got the gloves on. What do you think about that?
Mike, the heat's on in here, buddy. You can come and visit when you want.
So run some hot chocolate up there. Some kind of a pulley system in a basket. Get him something warm. And we have movements. So Oak Park, after they call a timeout with some confusion, we may have movement by the Northmen. 2nd and 10. Wait for the signal from Rick Bunch. Yeah, we have movement, so it's going to be 2nd and 15 as they mark this back to the 5-yard line.
You see Coach Ross there. He's just disappointed because he knows he's really got to get the ball out of this situation and keep going backwards the whole time.
Well, Blue Springs South has put the ball on the ground a couple of times. They've thrown an interception, and Oak Park has yet to turn those turnovers into points. There's Ross taking the snap. Fake the play, and there's the bounce outside by Jarrell Childs. He's got some room, but still Armison's down the right sidelines. Getting close to a first down. He's got an angle. Dragging tacklers all the way down past the 30-yard line. A big play for the Northmen.
I don't know if you've ever been to a horse race, but you watch a horse when he comes out of the gate. Look at Childs here. When he hits that, he's running. There's no way they're going to tackle him one-on-one with DBs. Look at him. 6'2", 210 pounds. That is a big kid. So misdirection, actually, we talked about something that South was doing misdirection, and he actually took a little jab step to the left, like he was going left, come back right, pull your guys out there, kick out, let him get moving.
Well, stiff arm play there as well. So Oak Park, it's their first down of the game with 6:12 to play in the second quarter, trailing 7-0. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 35. High snap, Ross rolling left side. Oh, and a helmet pops off on the play. Bartlett still running in the play as Ross is running. First down and more, crossing midfield, busting into Jaguars territory. And I'm telling you what, there was a hit delivered out there. Kellen Bartlett, the junior tight end, also a defensive star, lost his melon.
Watch Jarrell Childs right up top right here. Actually, watch the block, bam. That's good pass protection there. But now Alex Ross is actually down on the field. He might have hurt his shoulder a little bit. He's holding it. He got jammed. I told you that ground was going to be hard tonight. He actually got jammed. Somebody fell on top of him. He jammed that right shoulder, which is not a throwing shoulder. But he's got to come out at least for a play right now.
All right, so they get a first down at the 48. On the same play, they lose their quarterback who picked up that play, and the backup is number 16, Morgan Ward, a junior, 6'2", 167 pounds, pressed into service just as Oak Park gets a little momentum. Now inside of 6 minutes to play. And how about the backup quarterback situation?
Well, it's tough. You know, a kid that usually is not going to take as many snaps because your starter is going to get a bunch, but there's only so many things else that they can do better because they've only had 2 good plays tonight, those 2 back-to-back, so let him see what he can do.
Childs the fake handoff into the backfield, number 47 for Blue Springs South. Tony Taylor makes a play. Ward able to escape the initial contact and didn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage, but Tony Taylor busting in, the senior defensive end, 5'11", 185 pounds. That's his 2nd sack of the season.
That had to be something miscue up front. He didn't even get touched. They had a little turn blocking scheme and nobody even looked at him. But back to the quarterback situation, Morgan Ward's on here on the sideline, doesn't have a jacket, doesn't have a blanket, doesn't have hot cocoa, anything. So he had to come straight into the game. His legs aren't warm. He's actually got gloves on his throwing hand, so we'll see how that affects him.
Tony Taylor made the sack. They call him small fast. As a 185-pound defensive end. Now here's the handoff. Childs looking for some room on the right side. He's finally, this entire drive, able to get some positive yards. Gain of 5 on the play for Oak Park. We talked about that pad popping, Chris. Let's take a look inside here in the trenches.
Well, when Jarrell Childs coming at you, you better get low. You see the guys there. They're getting down there. Simpson's getting low. Yeah. He's a big boy, and you better bring it all when you hit him.
Shane Simpson getting low. Jarrell Childs, 6'2", 210 pounds coming at you. As you mentioned, Simpson saw the cat about as low as he could.
Yeah.
He was looking for a shovel. There's the snap, the pitch to Childs on the short side of the field. Pick up about 3 yards on the play on 3rd and long. Oak Park, not much for the air game. Their game is ground, 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 pound, pound, pound. So it'll be a 4th and 6. The 47-yard line, and Oak Park will send their punting unit onto the field.
Well, you got to take that as deep as they were at one time, almost inside the 5-yard line. You got to be happy just to get that out, let this clock run down, take a punt, and hopefully pin them down going to halftime. You lost your quarterback, so.
Alex Ross kind of moving that arm around. He's putting his helmet on, but you can see he's obviously in a lot of pain there, grimacing. There's Strickland back for Blue Springs South. There's the punt from Owen. Inside of 4 minutes to play, and he'll just kick this to the sidelines. They want no part of Strickland. Hits an Oak Park man in the back before it rolls out of bounds to the 12, and Oak Park wants no part of Strickland getting his hands on the football. And Chris, you mentioned there, under 4 minutes to play, you're kind of guessing, is this 4-down territory, but you're near midfield. You really don't want to take a chance on a team that, although they only have 7 points, they've been able to march the ball pretty effectively.
Well, how about Coach Ross right there? His punter just put on the 11-yard line, so.
Take that.
11-yard line, 3:35 left in the game. You say, all right, guys, let's go into halftime. Our quarterback might be out of the game. We don't know. We got to figure that out. So let's just be happy going in 7-0.
Game of field position for Coach Ross. Just set only down by 1 score. Ball in the backfield, handoff. That's Simpson, right side. They like that crossing action. Gain of 1 on the play on 1st down.
Is it the great technology of microphones we have, or is it hitting that loud?
I don't know, but I'm hearing it through the headsets.
Yeah.
That's got to be loud. There'll be some serious business going on in the field. It'll be 2nd and 9-yard line, 9 yards from the 12 for Blue Springs South. And they'll send Mack out to the left side. They'll send Strickland and Stephen Brooks, the fullback, out to the right side. They'll keep Randolph in the backfield. Dalton under center now. They're going shotgun. And there it is, Randolph right side. He's tried to string the play out there, Chris. Blue Springs, or rather Oak Park, Brent Haynes, able to make sure that didn't happen. And tomorrow night's Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week, another big, big battle as we are 1 week away from district play. Liberty against Lee Summit West. West, the Titans. Some momentum of athletes on that football team. We'll bring that to you Friday night at 7 o'clock right here on Metro Sports. Back to our current game. Lane Dalton, the sophomore quarterback, engineering some long drives for Blue Springs South, but they've turned the ball over. Otherwise, they'd have more points. Man in motion. Dalton looking downfield, though. Thinks he wants Mack. He's forced out of the box. Sacked behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of yards. Oak Park defense comes up with a big, big play.
Maybe they heard us talking. They heard us talking about Blue Springs South defense, how good they are, but this defense is now playing in 3rd and long, and they're coming after him.
And it looked like Randolph thought he was going to get the football, and Dalton didn't quite get it to him, or was trying to pull it back, and the ball was actually up in the air for a brief second, and Dalton tried to make the most of it, but he went down. Field position game for Oak Park, electing to punt. Right. Pays off for the Northmen. They may get a chance to work with a short field and put their 2-minute offense in action.
Well, they just called a timeout down here, so now they stop the clock. They're going to have decent field position. They might even come after this punt and try to get a block.
Greg Oder talks it over with his football team. Blue Springs South, a couple of shots on the team, and there's Jeremy Mack, and he's got his back heel on the back of that south end zone.
Oak Park has 10 guys in the box come after this punt.
There it is, high snap, and here comes Oak Park. They just get the punt away. That's going to be caught. Oh my gosh, Oak Park gets the ball on the 38-yard line of Blue Springs South. Down 7, a chance to get some points on the board before the break.
That's a good job by Jeremy Mack there, just getting that off. He knew that they were coming, and a pretty good punt from where he was at, just to get it out there.
And they were bringing the heat, was Oak Park. 2:03 on the clock. Morgan Ward, the backup quarterback, back into that huddle for the Northmen. So the injury to Alex Ross is going to take him at least into halftime. We'll have to see if he'll come out for the second half. Well, here's Ward. He's discussing the play. Split back and a tailback. There's the snap. There's the handoff to Childs, looking right side. A host of Jaguars in there, and he's lost a yard on the play as the Jaguars keep coming and coming and coming.
Well, I think they know with the backup quarterback back there that Childs is going to be the man that carries him. So they're keying on that. So Oak Park's going to have to do something different. They can't get handed to Childs in that situation because there's only so many places he can go.
There's Childs, 6'2", 210 pounds. And just about every time he's gotten the ball, it's been lifting the shoulder pad, looking left, and turning around and taking it to the right side. The right side of that Oak Park offensive line. Right guard Chris Lee, 277 pounds. Right tackle Aaron Childs, 196 pounds. And they carry the size and the weight and the muscle on this football team. Now Ward with a chance to pass. Instead he's going to hand off. Got a man. Number 43, Ray Hall into the game. 5'9", 160-pound junior gets a carry.
Well, they did something different there. Actually, a little fake to Childs. No, he's not going to get hands off underneath. Something happened up top, a little miscommunication, but at least they get a positive play.
It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 35-yard line. As Ray Hall gets a chance in the game, came from an old flanker position.
You see that clock is ticking, so they're going to let it run down. And
fake handoff to Childs. Ward looking downfield, rolling to the sidelines. He dumps it off. Out of bounds to Jordan Owen. Be close to a first down. 35 seconds left here in the first half. Let's look at the play. It was a nice fake play by the backup quarterback Ward as he rolled to the sidelines and just waited for his man to get open.
Yeah, he almost could throw it to his head coach there. He might have got more yardage.
Oh, and almost going over the fence there on the home sidelines.
Somebody's supposed to catch him. Uh-oh, Coach Ross is not happy there. That's what happens is you have a backup quarterback. Your kid says, look, Coach, he might have called plays. He's like, Coach, I didn't get to run that play this week. What is that?
This will be a timeout for Oak Park. A few ticks, more than 35 seconds left. The play clock had gone down to 13. Weren't really sure. Again, they've had a couple of opportunities tonight, Chris, where there's just been some miscommunication.
Well, and the play before that, let's go when the clock was still running, they had a timeout left before. And they actually ran a play-action pass, so it looked to me they were trying to get the first down. If you're just looking to run the clock out, I don't know why they wouldn't have just run it on the inside or something like that.
And they got that ball out of bounds to stop the clock and then also had to spend a timeout. Blue Springs South bringing a pretty good crowd right on the eastern side of Jackson County. South at 6-0, Oak Park at 6-0. 1 week outside of district play. Oak Park in their district, they will get Blue Springs, Liberty, and Columbia Rockbridge. Blue Springs South, they get Lee Summit North, Joplin, and Rocker. So you can call each group the group of death, as we used to call it in high school. We have those undefeated top 10 football teams. 35 seconds left. 4th down, 2 yards to go. Ward hand up to Childs. Reverse play. Inside. Ray Hall one more time, and I believe he's going to be short, Chris. We'll have to look at it here, where he ended up. They gave it to Childs going left, and there came Hall after he faked the move to the left. Initially juggled the football, tucked it, and got down to the 30-yard line. He's going to be a yard short of a first down, so Blue Springs South takes over with 30 seconds left. And what do? Chris? Do you sit on the football here, or do you want to take a couple of shots with your receivers?
I think you sit on. It's a long way to go, and their protection has been a little suspect there towards the last series. But back to that last play, running that reverse into the sideline there, you're kind of running out of room. So you're limiting yourself at what you can do. But you know what? So it's a Jeremy Mack here, maybe.
They'll send Randolph and Mack out to the left side. Strickland is out to the right side. Dalton under center. And there's Dalton, drops back, looking right side, fires to the man over there. That's Strickland, up the right side, first down, and more as he gets down the sidelines. Tiptoes out of bounds, gain of 15 on the play for Blue Springs South.
Well, wasn't expecting that, but good job just dumping it down, taking about 15 yards, getting out of bounds, and 23 seconds on the clock with 2 timeouts left.
Dane Strickland, the 5'10", 155-pound junior, came into the game with 11 carries, 267 yards. He scored 3 times. Also has a rushing touchdown in the game. And into the game for Blue Springs South, Tony Taylor, second string tight end, as they'll switch personnel. 1st and 10 from the 43 for Blue Springs South. We'll see if they take another shot here. This time they'll send Mack and Strickland to the same side. Mack inside, Strickland far outside. We've seen Dalton take off from the shotgun before. No, he's going to drop back. He's looking downfield. Strickland streaking down the field. He's got 4 men in coverage. Oak Park a chance to pick it off, and they do. It's picked off by Oak Park. And they'll return it down. And there it is, number 9, Alex Francisco. Or rather, pardon me, number 8, Jared Boone, 6'2", 170 pounds. And look at Strickland, he runs into a host of Northmen.
Yeah, he does. And actually, I was surprised because Mac's the guy they've been throwing to. You have a post, and you got Mac on the kind of out and up little wheel route, but their DBs weren't full. They said, we're going to drop back, and we're going to take this from you.
And Boone, not normally out there in the defensive set, but they wanted some height in there, thinking the Blue Spring South might take a shot.
How about that? Good call, little center fielder there.
Step back and play it, so under 10 seconds to play. Oak Park will see what they do with their opportunity here. They have not thrown too many passes tonight, and there it is, the handoff Childs, and they'll just keep the football on the ground, and the clock will run out, and we finish 1/2 of play. Folks, it's a much tighter ball game than someone thought. Blue Spring South, the number 2 team in the city, they've scored a single touchdown. Turnover is a huge key in keeping the Northmen in this football game. We'll take a timeout. You're watching the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week on Metro Sports. District Stadium in North Kansas City as the Oak Park dance team goes to work. Blue Spring South leading Oak Park 7-0. This is a suburban Big 7 battle. 2 undefeated football teams, each team 6-0 on the eve of district play. And Chris Sanders, we've seen a game in which Blue Spring South probably heads to the locker room thinking, hey, we should have 14 or 21 points on the board, and Oak Park has done a good job of, even though they've been a lot of 3 and out, they've controlled field position and they've made Blue Springs work.
They did, and they three and outs, and they came back with the 2 big plays by the quarterback and by Charles, the running back. So that got them out of the hole. That got them in the field position to keep this game the way it is.
Blue Spring South had some long sustained drives where they fumbled one football, got it back, fumbled another football, gave it to Oak Park, and Blaine Dalton, who came into the football game with only 2 picks on the season, he's thrown 2 here in the first half.
2, and as a quarterback, you say, well, that last one doesn't count. I was going deep. So we'll count 1 against him, but 1 big one when they were inside the 20 going in the red zone, and really nobody around and rolling to the left, and just a missed throw there. Got to throw it away or take a sack or do something else.
Now, so you're the quarterback. You're saying it doesn't count, but you look at the stat sheet, it does. Blue Spring South lone touchdown scored by the senior Shane Simpson, who didn't spend a lot of time on the field there in the first couple of drives, but he got in the goal line situation and scored his 4th touchdown of the season. He's been a good hands ball carrier for Greg Oder.
It's amazing all the good running backs that are on this field tonight on both sides of the ball. So I look at the coaches go back in there and say, hey, let's run the ball with our guys, and let's keep both offensive lines are doing a good job pushing the guys off, but both defenses are doing a good job rallying to the ball and making huge plays for losses.
We've seen Blue Spring South a couple of times tonight looking for Jeremy Mack, the 6'4" wide receiver. We saw him in 3rd and 18 go for him down the sidelines, didn't get it. Or 2nd and long, went for him in 3rd and long, and on 4th and long, after the 2 previous plays had failed, they went for him down the right side in single coverage. And if you're wondering what that sound is, the band just fired up, and I think that's some flute music for you, Chris. It kind of caught us all off guard there, but Jeremy Mack appears to be a guy they want to try to work, and we'll see if Oak Park finds a way to counter it in the second half.
He's gone down.
Is that the magic flute you brought with you?
That's what it is. That's me. I was trying to do a little halftime show, get on the field, but I don't know if they're going to let me. I'm trying to do a tryout.
Sam Fear and the pan flute.
There you go. Jeremy Mack, he went deep 4 times. And one time we actually saw him, which it would have been 14. Now they dropped it right in his bread basket there. So I assume we're going to see that one more time tonight.
Oak Park, as we said, as you mentioned, 3 and outs to start the football game. We really couldn't get that offense going, and then finally able to move the ball downfield. And when they broke into Blue Spring South territory, they were stopped, and just under 4 minutes to play, there was kind of an initial thought, maybe go for it on 4th, try to get some points, but your point was well made. Pin Blue Spring South deep and make a march, and it paid off as they kept, if for nothing else, they kept Blue Spring South from scoring again.
Kept them scoring, kept them getting any points at all. So you're in the halftime saying, look, guys, we're only down by 7 points, and as bad as we played on our defenses play well, as bad as we played on offense with just a couple big plays, we're now still in it, and we can get this ball, score, and be tied.
There's the band from Oak Park here at District Stadium. actually on the campus of North Kansas City, but they share the field here with Oak Park and Winnetonka as well. And Chris and I will step back and enjoy. Somebody brought a box of cookies down here, so we'll step back and enjoy that for a little bit while you enjoy the band of Oak Park. Here at Oak Park, entertaining the crowd at District Stadium in North Kansas City. The Northmen of Oak Park down 7-0 to the Jaguars of Blue Springs South. 2 undefeated football teams from the Suburban Big 7. We got ourselves quite a football game here. We're back in a minute. We're watching the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week on Metro Sports. On a chilly night inside District Stadium in North Kansas City, it's the Jaguars of Blue Springs South, ranked number 2 in the Super 25 poll with a 7-0 lead over Oak Park. Let's show you how the Jaguars got on the board after a couple of long drives were ruined by turnovers. Blue Springs South, Blaine Dalton, the sophomore quarterback, led the Jaguars on a pretty good charge against the Northmen of Oak Park. And here we are going to work, a little fake play. Dalton able to run behind big Zach Wilson, the 325-pound tackle. There it is on a fake play, rolling out to the right side, and Tony Randolph, a dependable running back, also getting some yardage.
Yeah, this is the drive they actually took it down and scored. So you see they use a lot of different things in their arsenal. And now here's the deep pass here to Jeremy Mack, which was again on 4th down. So we could, if they punted there, have a 0-0 game right now.
Yeah, it was a 4th and 18 play that converted. Then Shane Simpson got it in the end zone to give the Jaguars their lone score of the football game. And then turnovers for the Jaguars.
Turnovers both ways. You'll see Jaguars turn with the ball here on a fumble, rolling out here. Dalton, the pass we saw going into the red zone, throws it right to the linebacker, and that's been the key.
Oak Park has been unable to make those turnovers turn into points. And Alex Ross, the quarterback for Oak Park, knocked out of this football game. It's a chilly night here at District Stadium. Temperatures going into the 30s. Remember, back on Monday, these teams were practicing in 90-degree heat.
I tell you what, this we see everybody bundled up right there, but they're staying. Nobody's going anywhere. Look at this guy. He's got to be something. We got to give him something.
He's got to be something or
crazy. I don't know.
This side of crazy. All right, we'll take a timeout. Blue Springs South leading the Northmen of Oak Park 7-0. We got ourselves a tight little football game here at District Stadium. You're watching the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week on Metro Sports. Welcome back to District Stadium in North Kansas City. Historic District Stadium, Blue Springs South and Oak Park. The Jaguars, a 7-0 lead over the Northmen. 2 undefeated football teams, 2 teams 1 week away from opening district play. Blue Springs South, that lone touchdown, as we said, probably in that locker room thinking they should have 14, maybe 21 points on the board statistically. They absolutely dominated the first half, but Chris Sanders is the guy who played this game at the highest levels. Doesn't matter what the stats are, it matters what it says on the scoreboard.
Doesn't matter at all. And actually Oak Park sitting there saying, hey, it could be 0-0. Make a play here, make a play there. And of course they can't say offensively we could be ahead because they haven't done anything in that sense. So their offense is definitely gonna have to pick it up.
We'll look at that stat line for you. Total offensive yards, Blue Springs South 142 to Oak Park's 80. Of course, Blue Springs South putting the football in the air, and Oak Park just keeps it on the ground. And Chris, you look at the first downs, Blue Springs South 10. That means they're moving the football, but the number right after that, the turnovers, that's why they don't have the points.
Right, you look at those bottom 2 categories, first down and turnovers, that's what's making the difference. So you can have all those first downs, but if you turn it over right after you get 2 or 3 first downs, it doesn't help. But Oak Park on the other side, only 2 first downs, but they win the turnover category.
About 2.5 minutes here left in halftime before the teams take the field. Blue Springs South won the toss at the beginning of the football game, but they deferred until the second half. So they'll start out with the football as the Oak Park marching band marches off the football field.
So they were here the whole time.
They were working out there.
That band was there from the beginning. They blew that whistle. I think they were pushing the refs off the field. We're trying to get on here.
I think they need their own halftime.
Well, I think a key to the second half is really going to be is Alex Ross going to come back from his injury. And like I said, it's not his throwing shoulder. It looks like he hit his shoulder. I could be wrong, but as a quarterback, to see him come off the field, you know, he definitely hit that, and we'll see if that plays into the rest of this game.
Alex Ross, the senior quarterback for Oak Park, went down with an injury on their final drive. Morgan Ward, the junior, stepped up in his stead, and Oak Park actually got on a little run there. Just couldn't get it into points. Tell you what, when you're in a tight football game, two teams from the suburban Big Seven, two teams undefeated, but this game as close as you can possibly get it. It doesn't matter what happened on the first half. It matters what they put up on the chalkboard and come out with in the second half.
Well, I saw those guys. You saw that shot, that kind of the way they're walking out of the locker room there. I would think after halftime, if you'd had a big speech and you're fired up, you'd be coming out with a little more pace to you. But Springs came out here. They're all together. They were hooting and hollering and warming up. So see if that has something to do with the second half.
All right, as the teams make their way back onto the field and get stretching underway with the temperatures a little bit cooler, we will take a timeout. We'll come back with the second half. Blue Springs South leading Oak Park 7-0. You're watching the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week on Metro Sports. Welcome back to District Stadium. Blue Springs South leading Oak Park 7-0. That's Morgan Ward, the backup quarterback for Oak Park, warming up. He came in at the end of the second quarter to fill in for Alex Ross, who left with an injury. And we just saw Alex Ross walking out of the team locker room of Oak Park here at District Stadium. And he had the shoulder pads off, and Chris, that's not a good look.
That's got to be it for tonight. And I hope, as a senior, I hope the way he's looking there, he's very disappointed and wants to be in this game and wants to finish the season, so I hope it's not anything that keeps him out past tonight or next week. But he definitely is definitely hurting there. When you get thrown in that sling like that, that means that doctor came in at halftime and told you something you really didn't want to hear.
Yeah, we don't like to see that at all. These kids work so hard during the summer with the weightlifting and 7-on-7. They call it an off season. It's never really an off season, even at the high school level. The kids work so hard, and hope to see them back in uniform before the end of the season.
And it's tough as a senior, especially as a quarterback. You've been around this team. You had your guys with you all summer, and you've really put a lot of time into it. So you never know what's going to happen after that. This could be the last time you play a sport where you're doing what you do. And there's no guarantee of the future for that. So some kids get to be lucky enough to go and play in college, and a lot of them just don't.
There's Keith Ross, the head coach. He's the father of Alex Ross. And the captains for Blue Springs South come on the field this week. It's Jeremy Mack, Shane Simpson, Corey Sudoff, and Stefan Jackson. There is Coach Ross, and having to talk to the backup here, and kind of divided attention. On one hand, you worry for your son who's in a sling on the sidelines. On the other hand, you got to inspire the troops and tell your backup quarterback to go win you a football game.
Well, it's got to be different. I'm sure in, what did we say, 22 years of coaching, he's never had to have his son injured and be the starting quarterback and have to go on like that because he's injured. Of course, he sees injuries all the time, and you play through it in football. That's the way the game is. But when it's your son, as a parent sitting up in the stands, you wonder what happened. As a coach, you're sitting right there, and the doctor actually has to tell you personally.
Blue Springs South won the coin toss in the first half. They deferred to the second, so they'll receive and defend the south end zone. Their captains, they don't name any captains at the beginning of the season. They go week by week. So this week, it was Jeremy Mack, Shane Simpson, Corey Sudoff, and Stefan Jackson. So Keith Ross, he's kept his football team in this game, fighting that field position battle. Done a good job of it. He's back against the wall against an offense that's been mounting attacks, and they force turnovers.
Well, and there's got to be a lot of emotion here in the second half because they know they were coming in as underdogs. I don't know if they believed it. I don't know if they listened to it, obviously, in the first half.
I can tell you, no from Coach Ross's perspective.
Well, then there you go. So 7-0. I mean, you're in it. And look at all the people on the side. They're ready to see a good second half, aren't they?
Yeah, it's chilly in the stands, but they got some hot chocolate. It's about to heat up on the football field. Two suburban teams undefeated, a second half to play. One touchdown separates these two teams from victory. Both teams heading into tough district competition. We'll talk about that after the kickoff. Oak Park, Ryan Langemak back to kick it, and they'll keep it. That's a short kick as it drops. Doesn't quite make it to the 20-yard line. And Blue Springs South will take it there and get about 6 yards upfield, and they'll be in business at their own 30-yard line.
Big hits again, starting out. Alex Francisco coming down and giving a little jaw underneath, just right underneath the face mask.
Blaine Dalton will lead his troops back onto the football field. We mentioned the fumbles there in the first half. His center, Dean Grace, is actually wearing a cast on his left hand. That is his snapping hand. So for the last couple of weeks, he's had to learn how to snap with his right hand. Caused some trouble a couple of weeks ago, put the ball on the ground, but they think he's got a handle on it now. And there is Dalton under center, and there's the handoff to Tony Randolph. Maybe a gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 32-yard line.
That's huge respect for your center because he's kind of the quarterback of the line. He tells guys what's going on, things like that. When he has to switch hands, that is totally different for him. Think about riding. You can't ride left hand. Imagine trying to snap a ball and hold it in a cold night again. That's something you're never used to.
Broke his hand in 3 places. They tried Chris Moorfield at center for a little while. They decided they wanted to go back to Dean Grace. There's Dalton taking it from Grace and giving it to Randolph. No, it's a fake play. You keep it, Will Dalton. And they stack it up, does Oak Park. The host of Northman, Jordan Owen, leading the attack. Also Morgan Ward in there on the play, the backup quarterback from his free safety position.
New play there, a little dive option, fake to the fullback. Option man was actually in the slot, but defense again. Playing just continue where they were in the first half.
Good job of the Northmen to stack it up. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 34-yard line for Blue Springs South. Under 11 minutes to play now in the 3rd quarter. And the crowd here at District Stadium is on its feet. They want a big stop from this Northman defense. Snap, Dalton rolling right, option to pitch, he'll keep it, he's got a first down and more. He's down the sidelines, 2 men to beat. He's brought down inside the 40-yard line, a huge pickup on 3rd down for Blue Springs South.
Same play we saw in the first quarter when they said we're in shotgun. They're obviously going to run that speed option with the quarterback. He's running right out. There's nobody on the outside there. No, doesn't even think about pitching, so he's going to keep it as much yards as he can.
D-back stays home. That's Dane Hilton, the senior, at 5'8", 159 pounds. If he doesn't migrate out there and trap Dalton, that might be 6 points on the board for Blue Springs. Dalton tried to leap into him a little bit. Hilton stayed with it as he grabbed him up top around the shirt and brought him down.
Must be a track star also that season.
It's a first down and 10 at the 36. Dalton, 10 carries for 75 yards tonight. We talked about his ability to run with the football, and he'll do it again right side. Fakes the pitch, keeps it. He's got another first down. A stiff arm down the sidelines. A pickup of 20 for Blaine Dalton.
That's one way to forget about those interceptions. Say, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep it on the ground and not throw it anymore. But
his counterpart at quarterback, Morgan Ward, was there to make the stop, but there's Dalton. He's flat running past some guys, and he's got that stiff arm out there.
He's averaging about 8 yards a carry, which is huge at any position, much less a quarterback position for an option team or not. I mean, in a lot of those plays, he's actually had to make on something, 2 or 3 of them on something that he messed up and just kept it himself.
The season average is about 2.5 yards per carry, but he's said near 8. Now Dalton under center again. You wonder if he'll keep it again. Now they're going to hand it off to Randolph as he scoots around the right side. They like to run those misdirection plays, bringing a runner from one side and going the other way and diving between the center and the guard.
That was anticlimactic for me there. He took so many runs back to back to back. I said, well, I want to see it again, coach. Let's keep it in his hands. But the Oak Park sideline over here is dead after this drive has started.
Brent Haynes, the 5'9", 185-pound junior, in on the stop. They flip-flop their ends here at Oak Park. They have 2 inside players. One's called a nose, the other's called a tackle, instead of 2 defensive tackles or 2 nose guards.
There you go.
Mix it up a little bit. There's Dalton with a single back. Fake the pitch play. Instead, Randolph will go up the middle. Now bounces around right side before he's brought down just shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2 from inside the 15-yard line.
Good little tackle here. You see number 55, Aaron Puckett, actually grabbing from behind inside the block, pull him down. There's a lot of room out there to run if he didn't get him.
Puckett, nice little spin move there to avoid contact from the oncoming blocker. Now inside of 9 minutes here in the 3rd quarter, and Blue Springs South charging 3rd and 2 from the 16-yard line. They'll try to convert, put some more points on the board. There's the handoff for Randolph. He's pushing now down to the 7-yard line. It will be close to a first down. And I think he got it.
Looks like it.
And they signal it. Rick Bunch, the referee here.
What a statement drive coming out. If they can get a touchdown here, they're really setting the tone, going up 2 touchdowns and having all positive plays this whole drive.
Now this is going to be 1st and goal from the 7-yard line for Blue Springs South. Just over 8.5 to play. Remember the turnovers in the first half? They perhaps took some points off the board, had a receiver drop the ball at Mack, and there's the handoff inside. Stephen Brooks, the fullback, 6 foot, 180-pound junior. We like to go to those fullbacks when they get in the tight goal line situations and short yardage. And Stephen Brooks has paid off this year with 3 touchdowns.
The short yardage here inside the 10. You notice they keep going behind number 76, Zach Wilson. Again, 325 pounds there. So watch for him. Watch for them to run definitely behind that big old boy.
There's Randolph lined up right next to his quarterback in the backfield. We'll see if they run some misdirection again. He looks left, and there's Dalton going to roll it. Pitch to Randolph. See if he can string out the play. He will not. Quickly brought down by Jarrell Childs, the running back playing linebacker from his Sam position. 6'2", 210 pounds. He wasn't letting Randolph go anywhere.
You got to love it when your starting running back is also playing outside linebacker for you and make them big tackles. I don't know why Big Wilson didn't block him right there. Kind of just let him go, and looked like he could have got his mitts on him and hemmed him up, but
maybe thought he had to. Maybe thought he was going to chip and let someone come behind him, but
I guess that might have been the pitch man. That might have been what that was.
This will be now 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line for Blue Springs South. Low running back is Stephen Brooks, and there's the handoff going the other way, going left side. That's Strickland, and he stopped shy. 4-yard line. He's bounced out of bounds. It'll be 4th down and goal. We'll see if Blue Springs South sends the field goal unit onto the field, or do they go for it? They've gone for it on 4th and long tonight.
They have, but they're going to kick it here on 4th and medium. Actually, Oak Park got a little lucky here because they had a couple of little arm tackles there. They didn't really come up and knock him in the face and try to see a little arm tackle, arm tackle, arm tackle. Nobody's really running through the running back there trying to get the ball out or something.
Strickland got his chin strap tucked up under his nose as he was driven out of bounds, and they will kick the field goal. Will Blue Springs South. Garrity on, the left-footed kicker's up, and that was close to the upright there, but it's good, and Blue Springs South goes up 10-0. 2 scores now as they go up inside of 7 minutes to play with a 10-point lead.
I was about to predict some madness there because as a left-footed kicker that close, or any foot, left foot or right foot, that close inside the 5, that's hard to bend it in there like that. It's like hitting that golf shot underneath that tree onto the green. You don't have much space to miss.
It's a tough angle in high school football. The markers to the outer points of the football field. There's in the National Football League, and put them in a little bit more options. College, you get some serious angles in there as well.
Arena football, you actually get lucky as a kicker. There's 2 sets of hashes on each side, so 4 hashes. As a kicker, if it's on the outside hash, they actually move the ball into the inside hashes. Of course, the field goal is only 9 foot wide, so you're going to miss it anyways.
Chris Sanders, quarterback in the Kansas City Brigade, in the booth with us tonight. And when will training camp open for you? When are you back to work?
Season starts end of February. Training camp's end of January. Just had tryouts. Mick Schaefer came out and made a fool of himself in front of everybody. So being
Wait a
tryout
minute, Mick Schaefer?
Yeah, not Mick, right?
No.
Not Mick. Yeah, check the website, kcbrigade.com. Good football, and it's going to be a lot colder than this, I'm sure. But it's indoor.
But you'll be inside.
That's right. That's why I love it.
There's Garrity. We mentioned the left-footed kicker, and he puts it deep in Oak Park territory, and they always send 4 men back there. And there it is for Oak Park. They get a big run back as they get near the 35-yard line before they're stopped. So Oak Park will have to go to work here inside of 7 minutes, trailing by 2 scores.
I've got to point out who got the ball there. Number 56, Elijah Madison. Now I want to look. 5'9", 265 pounds, O-line, D-line. Big boy. Look at him. He said, Coach, they kicked it to me. Coach saying, get away.
Give it to me all the time. How about some backfield work?
He knew he was on TV. That's why he did it. I see you, Elijah. Go ahead, buddy.
Maybe Childs gets a little bit tired. They
sure.
Send him back on the field.
He looked like the bus, didn't he? Jerome Bettis.
Didn't have the moves. He just took a straight-on barrel up the middle of the football field that paid off. 1st and 10 at the 29. Pitch to Childs. Held it up in the air for a brief second. He's out. Gain of a couple of yards. We heard those screams. Maybe there was a ball on the ground there. Nothing came of it.
That was a scary pitch there. Watch.
Yeah, and Childs kind of had that ball up in the air as it hung delicately there for a second.
That just takes too long to develop.
Somebody on the sideline screamed fumble. I don't think that football ever got loose. Childs, good hands running back there. As we mentioned, 6'2", 210 pounds is the junior. It's a lot of football player coming at you.
I'll tell you what, he's probably getting some letters too. I'm sure he's going to be a guy we'll see signing here in 2008.
We have an official's timeout here. Oak Park will have the ball 2nd and 7 from their own 32-yard line. Now they're reset, and we'll play some football. Morgan Ward, the backup quarterback, in for the injured Alex Ross. He'll take it from the shotgun, and he'll look to keep it for himself around the left side. Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3 from 36-yard line. Sonic fan of the game. We keep giving out the prizes. Banging the drum, and you get a gift card, $10 from Sonic. Also getting your mug of the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week, the Super Sonic fan of the game. Sonic, it's not just good, it's Sonic good. Bring your drum to the football game, right, Chris?
I like it. I like it. We got a big crowd over here on the home side. They're excited to be here.
Big, noisy. Tony Randolph is patrolling the defensive side, and there's a handoff up the middle. Jordan Owen, 6 foot, 185-pound sophomore, trying to bang it inside. I think he'll be short of the first down. Oh, he got it. Big first down for Oak Park. Short yardage situation, and Jordan Owen, he whispered and got the first down.
Well, he actually was in a little pile there and just kind of kept his legs moving. Watch him just pop out the end. He got stopped, stretched out all the way across, kept crawling in. They don't know where to spot that. Good for him.
1st and 10 from the 40-yard line as Oak Park nears midfield. Just over 5 minutes to play. Step up high. They get the handoff down to Child. Stiff arm. He's got some room. Will he get it? Close to the first down. He got it as he crosses midfield, busting into Jaguar territory, spiraling out of bounds.
Good run, but looks like it might be all for naught.
And we got some laundry on the field. Yellow flags. You get a rolling play like that, you might get a holding call on occasion. Oak Park. There we go. It's a holding call, and they'll march it back. It's a shame. Spoiled a good run by Childs. He got free, got a defender out on him, put a stiff arm play, and picked up 12 yards. And they'll march it back, and instead, they will be in a long yardage situation.
I love watching him get on the edge here.
And watch him get out there. With a stiff arm down, and maybe just kind of shag him a little bit.
Yeah. That's tough as a running back. Know you made a good run to come back to the huddle, and they say 1st and 15.
And all the way back to the 36-yard line. It'll be 1st and 14 for Oak Park. Just over 5 minutes to go, and the Northmen trail Blue Spring South by 10. Each team an undefeated season on the line, and there's the snap. Ward takes it left side. Maybe gains a yard on the play.
Well, that's something that I guess Morgan, they're maybe not as comfortable with him throwing the ball, but he's listed as actually a wide receiver DB. So, you know he's an athlete. You know he can do some things. Maybe get him on the edge. That interior there, that's some big boys. He's only listed at 167. They might be lying. He might be at $160.
Blue Spring South defense knows if they can hold him here, they can really build some momentum as this clock ticks down closer and closer to the 4th quarter. Now 2nd and 11. Handoff Childs. He looks in, looks out, and runs into a stack of Blue Spring South Jaguars for no gain.
You notice every time they've had a big play, and even going back to the first half, it was always outside, always on the sideline, always outside the hashes. When they're running inside, they're just getting stopped.
Big number 55, Jeff Wendell, the 6'1", 240-pound junior in on the play. For Blue Spring South, and Child's kind of pulling at that hamstring a little bit.
That's it. Tonight, night like tonight, not warming up enough, that could happen.
There's Wendell, we mentioned him, the junior in on the play. Tough nose tackle for Blue Spring South. There's the snap to Ward. He's rolling out right side, tucks. Now he looks to pass. Downfield, he airs it out. He's got a man open, but sails just out of bounds. Had Stephen Stroop, the senior, down the sidelines in position, but just a couple of yards one way. Oh, we got a personal foul call here.
Roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer after the play. So after sailing a pass, Oak Park is going to get something out of this.
He's actually rolling out to the home side here. So Coach Ross saw this whole thing. Rolling out 3rd and long, and holding that ball a little long there to throw that. Got actually 2 receivers both on the same side. Oh, late there.
Yeah, just a little bit late. And that's all it takes. That's going to be an automatic first down for Oak Park.
I've been really impressed that cheerleader would turn around and caught that ball.
I don't think she saw it coming. Yeah, flag's a big part of this, and here's wow, this is right into your living room here. Number 55, Wendell, we just mentioned him on the previous play, and you get there you know, 1 second late.
Oh, yeah.
And it turns into a first down. Now Oak Park into Blue Spring South territory. High snap, handoff, Childs, met in the backfield, ball on the ground. Tony Taylor, the senior, was there to make the stop. 5'11", 185 pounds. Third on the team in tackles. And Oak Park loses yardage after a personal foul call. It's going to be 2nd and 15 near the 49-yard line.
I want to play devil's advocate here. If you remember the very first time Oak Park had the ball coming out, they were all stacked inside. Everybody's there. The center was low coming off. And now the coach saying, hey, we're going to shotgun every play. And this kid's like, well, coach, that's 2 different philosophies for me. And that's why you're seeing the high snap.
They'll do it again as Ward lines up. Morgan Ward, the junior, good snap that time. He's looking downfield. He's airing it out. He's got a man open. That's Jordan Boone. In and out of the hands. It's bobbled. Good defense. Excuse me, Jared Boone. Good defense by Blue Spring South. Strickland back there, as was Tony Randolph. And look at the coverage. Jared Boone, 6'2", 170 pounds. Looked like he might have had a shot at this. But there's Strickland all over the play. Great play by the D-back.
Great play, but also good throw there. Ward hadn't got to throw it much downfield all night, but looked pretty smooth throwing the ball there with the glove on the hand. Let's talk about that. That's tough to do in a night like tonight, but we're going to see more of that because he put it out there just right the last second. Strickland knocked it down.
Dante Strickland basically never comes off the football field. Wide receiver, D-back, kick returner, punt returner. Here's Ward at the snap, fakes, gives him a look, and that'll be a handoff up the middle. That's Childs. Gain of about 7 yards on the play. It'll be 4th down for Oak Park. And might have to play a field position battle again. Let's look at this play from the end zone. Chris, a little fake here.
Yeah, a little draw, and everybody at home saying, well, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 14, why you run the draw? Well, there's not many plays in the playbook that'll get you 14 yards. You're hoping a draw just kind of catch them off guard.
Jordan Owen's going to punt it. We mentioned Dante Strickland never comes off the field. He's back deep to receive it. Shane Simpson also back there for Blue Spring South. And they've been kicking to the sidelines every time tonight. And they did it again. Oh, this one could be buried. This could be a really good one. Fair catch called by Simpson just outside the 10-yard line. And Blue Spring South, I tell you what, even though Oak Park hasn't gotten on the board, they keep putting Blue Springs back further and further.
Another good punt. Again, I want you to remember this also in the games like it is. Morgan Ward was the up back there in the punt formation, who is your quarterback. So be careful sometime later in the 4th quarter. If they need a big play, they might do a fake punt on 4th down.
You know, Oak Park has kept the ball on the ground, but you know, you're down 2 scores, 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, and we saw them air it out and take some chances there. They keep rushing the football. That clock's going to disappear.
Huge rushing, 8.9 for a quarterback on only 11 carries.
Blaine Dalton back under center. He'll go to work. He'll run it to the left side, fakes the pitch, and he's going to be taken down and tear the fumble. Oak Park, touchdown, Northman. They forced the fumble. Holy cow, what a turnaround. Number 26, Gerald Childs, the running back. He didn't score on offense, he scored on defense. What a play for the Northman, right back in the football game.
He said, I don't need to play offense, just let me play defense. And actually, he played it perfectly because he didn't let the quarterback pitch the ball. And then once he committed not to pitch it, then he took the quarterback and stripped him and picked it up himself.
Wow, what a shift for the Northman. Inside of 2 minutes to play, Blue Spring South deep in their own territory. We talked about the field position. They made a mistake. Blue Spring South has fumbled the ball twice tonight. They've thrown 2 interceptions. For the first time, Oak Park makes them pay.
Coach Ross has done this before, hadn't he? He knew exactly what he was going to do and pin those guys back there and let his defense play because, again, they're playing huge tonight.
There's the extra point by Langemock. And look at this, Oak Park. Their momentum had been stopped. They couldn't get anything going, and now they find themselves just 3 points down. Here's the play again, Chris.
Yeah. Look at Jarrell. Holds him up, makes him fumble, picks it up, runs over the quarterback, gets in the end zone. You know what? He might be a better outside linebacker than he is a running back.
He sure is fast. He got in there and saw that ball went right in, and right after he got the football, set it right back down on the ground, said, I'll leave this here. I'll take my 6 points.
Good discipline, too, on defense. You can tell Coach Ross did a good job with his defensive guys. Their discipline. Watch actually Childs stay with his man. He knows he has the quarterback. Number 8 actually goes with the pitch man, so they have guys in positions against the option. You have to be disciplined. You have to stay with who you're supposed to stay with and not bite on anything crazy.
The only downside, if there is one, is that the defense will have to go back out on the football field.
Yeah, that's true.
But you'll take, you know what, the momentum and the energy and the adrenaline you get after turning a turnover into solid points, that'd feel pretty good.
Very good. First points of the night, 2 on defense.
This is going to be one of those games. It's going to go right down to the wire. There's the kickoff from Oak Park, and they'll be content to kick the short kick and keep it out of the hands of Strickland and Simpson. There's Blue Springs South trying to make something happen. Christian Smoot on the return, and Blue Springs South will have the ball at their 30-yard line. 1:45 left here in the third quarter of play, and for the Oak Park defense, you got to be amped up now. Maybe go out and make another play.
They are. If you can see them in the huddle here when they go pan back to them, these guys are moving around. They're talking a little bit more. They have more excitement than they had coming out of that halftime locker room.
Brent Haynes, Aaron Childs, Morgan Ward. And look at the turnovers for Blue Springs South. You know what? We talked in the first half. They're disappointed they don't have 14 or 21. They might be lucky they're not down by 14 or 21.
You're exactly right.
There's Dalton. It's going to be a handoff to Randolph. Looking right side. Stiff arm. Looking for room. Back to the line of scrimmage. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 32-yard line.
These guys are flying, and it keeps getting louder and louder and louder on this home side because they keep watching that clock tick, and they see they're only down by 3, and that defense is controlling the whole game.
Greg Oder has said in the past, this building, this field has been a house of horrors for Blue Springs South against Oak Park. 94, 99, 2002, chances to win. Inexplicable goal line turnovers, returns for touchdowns, ruined seasons, conference championships lost. And they're in a dangerous position again. This will be Randolph. Met at the line of scrimmage. Huge hit by Oak Park as they push him back. Randolph might feel that one tomorrow afternoon, Chris Sanders.
You know what they remind me of? They remind me of the, this is stretching, I know a little bit. They look like the Baltimore Ravens when they dress in all black and there's 5 guys around the ball. And they play with just emotion, and they're coming after them.
Josh DeGerald in on the play for Oak Park.
Quick third quarter there. You see everybody's running the ball. Nobody's throwing it. That clock's ticking fast.
Big number 56, Elijah Madison, who had that kick return here,
did.
early on. He was in on the play as well as they delivered a blow. And now they'll have to spread them out. 3rd and 7 from the 33-yard line. 4 receivers out in the pattern. Lone setback is Steven Brooks. Dalton gets it, fakes the handoff, looking downfield, steps up the pocket, looking right side, pass, not even close. Maybe this Oak Park defense has the Jaguars on their heels, Chris.
I think they have them shook. They really do, and they have everybody, the O-line, the receivers, the quarterback. They're hitting, they're running, they're doing everything, gang tackling. Look at them coming off the field, pumping up the crowd. The bus right there. Elijah, I see you, buddy.
Elijah Madison might be our favorite player tonight, and Aaron Childs kind of limping as he comes off the field a little bit. He may be dinged up. There was so much excitement, the coaches had to yell at the kids to get out the football field because it's 4th down. Blue Springs South, Mack has to punt. Oh! Oak Park had a shot at it. They got the punt off. That's Stephon Stroop with the ball. And they'll get it at their own 33-yard line, and maybe a little field position game here. They've got about as good a field position as they've had all night.
They come after that punt, didn't they?
Wow.
There's about 3 or 4 guys back there. Again, Jeremy Mack.
They turned it loose.
Getting rid of that ball. Good kick.
They turned it loose. You got to hear the footsteps if you're a punter back there.
Yeah, look, Coach Ross, he knows this is a big drive because you can get a touchdown out of this, and your defense is playing well. You can really control that 4th quarter.
7 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Oak Park trailing by 3. Coach Oder, he's hoping this is not a momentum shift against the Jaguars, but it might very well be. We'll see. Blue Springs South defense going to work. Ward, handoff Childs, who had the fumble recovery for a touchdown, and he gets nothing as the clock winds down. The 3rd quarter has come to a finish. We'll switch ends of the field, and Oak Park can feel the momentum here at District Stadium. Their home fans trying to rally the troops. 2 undefeated seasons on the line. We're back in a minute. You're watching the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week on Metro Sports.
You want game? This fall, ESPN Game Plan has up to 150 extra college football games. Key matchups and rivalries from major conferences. All available when you order your exclusive ESPN Game Plan pay-per-view package. It's maximum college football. Order now.
Season and daily packages available. Channel 481 through 486. Call today, 816-222-5926.
Chris, bottom night here at District Stadium in North Kansas City as Blue Springs South has a 10-7 lead on the Northmen of Oak Park, but it may be the Northmen with the momentum here as we open the fourth quarter of play. Oak Park with the football, switching ends of the football field, 2nd and 10 from their own 32. The backup quarterback, Morgan Ward, under center. Fake handoff, rolling right side, he'll keep it himself, back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and long for Oak Park.
As good as their defense is playing, their offense has to match it. They have to match it to win this game, or they won't win it, because the defense, the chance of them getting another score is very, very slim. So their offense has to make a couple plays here. One big play, 2 big plays they're going to get. You have to make 4 or 5.
Blue Springs South comes in ranked number 10 in the Metro Sports Super, or rather number 2 in the Metro Sports Super 25 poll. Oak Park is in the top 15, ranked number 12. And they put some receivers out there. They got Stephon Stroop, Jared Boone outside on 3rd and long from inside their own 40-yard line. There's Ward rolling left side, looking downfield, looking for number 8. That's Jared Boone. Caught the ball. First down, Oak Park. Nearing midfield. Big play, big conversion for Oak Park on 3rd and long.
Huge, 3rd and long, and Morgan Ward actually rolling out, setting up nice, and finding a receiver, seeing him roll left, sitting down, good protection. Ooh, sitting right in the middle of the zone and catch that ball and get the 1st down.
Jared Boone, a good target for Ward, 6'2", 170 pounds, the senior. Clock ticking towards 11 minutes here in the 4th quarter. Blue Springs South leading 10-7. Last week before district play on the Missouri side. Ward back under center. Now Jared Boone will be the lone wide receiver. They'll go back to their triple backfield setup. And there's Childs. Flea flicker pass. Ward's got it. Downfield is Boone. He's got a man open. Intercepted by Strickland. Up and out of the hands. Did he get it? No, they're saying he didn't get it. The ball went on the ground. Dante Strickland was there in the coverage. Thought he had it picked up. It looked like the ball popped up in the air. But the official signal that it was on the ground, and Oak Park dodged a big bullet here early in the 4th quarter.
Momentum shift there. Momentum shift. Coach Ross said, look, let's go for the throat. Little flea flicker back, and Boone's actually open. Just a little underthrown. That might have something to do with the gloves.
And the ball did kind of touch on the ground. Strickland did a good ball, though. Good job getting his hands on the ball. This is a good play call.
Good play call, great. I mean, take the momentum. Your quarterback did well. Completed a big 3rd down play. Unless middle of the field, you know, you can take a shot, and they got very lucky that it didn't get intercepted, though.
Now, do you stick the trick play in your back pocket, or maybe bring that back?
Something new. Something new.
Okay. There's Warren. We're going to hand it off to Childs this time. Keep it simple as he's rolling around the right side. Got some room as he shines a tackler near the 1st down as he goes spilling out of bounds. He's got it. Oak Park marching down the field on Blue Springs.
He is a horse. He looks like, tell you what he looks like. He looks like Deuce McAllister from New Orleans Saints. Watch him. Decent sized kid, not real fast, but lanky. Look at him. Uses his hands very well. Uses his shoulder. Look how low he gets there as a running back. You can tell that's why he also plays linebacker, because he knows how to use his pad level to get below guys.
Shane Simpson did a good job of just funneling him to the sidelines. It'll going to be 1st and 10 inside Blue Springs South territory. Momentum shift, Chris. You think Oak Park's feeling it?
Huge. It's coming, but they still have to get points. They still got to get a point, and 3 points, sorry. And touchdown would be huge, but you got to at least get close enough to tie this game up.
Childs nearing the 100-yard mark. He scored tonight. It was a defensive score as he recovered a fumble and ran it in for Oak Park. There's Warren, handoff Childs. Fake left, goes right, got some room. Gain of 5, 6, 7 yards. Another 1st down. A flag comes flying from the sidelines. Looked like Childs had another 1st down there. We'll have to wait the official signal as Rick Bunch discusses it with his team.
Not going to be good for the offense right there. And those refs get together and they start looking back, and the defense shaking their head. Good run taken away.
And talk to Blue Springs South. Their captain's over there. Yep, you called it.
Chop block.
Chop block. You knew what it was before the signal even came.
Chop block. And it's such a tough call to make. You never know. One ref can see it one way, another ref can see it the other way, and the chop block is so undefined in high school football.
So big 1st down play, and they're going to march this football back 10 yards. It'll be 2nd and 20. Mentioned Oak Park. Did they feel the momentum shift? Well, they just went from Jaguar territory to their own territory. They'll mark it just inside their own 45-yard line.
We see how big that missed pass on that flea flicker was. It could be 14-10 right now, but instead you're back on your own side of the field again.
They'll be at their 44-yard line is where they'll officially mark it. There's Ward rolling left side, looking for options. Boone coming back to the football. Sidelines caught it. Pardon me, that's Stroop. And he's got it. Clock keeps running as he caught it in bounds. Stephen Stroop, the 5'11", 176-pound senior.
That's the exact same play that ran on the 3rd and long. Actually see Boone sitting in the hole again. Ward just couldn't find him in time, but didn't make a good completion. So it came off his first read, came to the second read, and got some yardage.
Stroop wears number 80. Boone number 8. We confuse the defense maybe. There we go. Boone's going to travel out to the right side, as will Stroop. Clock ticking now, under 9.5 minutes to play. Oak Park trailing by 3. They've got the football beyond midfield. There's Ward. He's going to roll out right side. Childs with the block to give him some more time. He'll tuck and run. Back inside the 45-yard line. He's hit, driven back. Talking about the hard hitting tonight. Nice pick of about 8 yards on the play. Good run by the backup quarterback, Ward.
Good run, but he better get down when those linebackers start coming after him. I told you, when they're like dogs. When they see meat out there, they see him, they're going to look at him. They're flying to the ball, 4 or 5 of them every time.
Hit delivered by Robert Oswald, the 6'4", 195-pound senior.
They might not get this play off.
Nope. Play clock running down, 12, 11, 10. Ward still on the sidelines talking to Coach Ross. They're not sure what the play is. 5, 4 on the play clock, 3. They're going to have to call a timeout or let it run out. And Oak Park will call a timeout. And it appears that Coach Ross and one of his coaches on the sidelines were trying to discuss what the play call was going to be, and Ward was standing there waiting. The big question mark hanging over his helmet.
Yeah, question mark, and you can update me on this. I'm not very familiar with this rule, but in high school football, I don't know if a head coach can call a timeout to a ref. I believe they can. It used to not be that way, so you used to have a player do it. And so Coach Ross was actually yelling down here to the ref to try to call a timeout, and the ref actually didn't see him. He wasn't looking that way. So I think that's what Coach Ross was really getting frustrated with, is he wanted that timeout because he knew a loss of yardage there would really hurt him.
You can see the frustrated look on Coach Ross's face as his team looks at 3rd and 11 from their Blue Springs South 43-yard line, trailing by 3 with under 8.5 to play in the 4th quarter of this battle. District plays begins next week for both teams, and pretty tough schedule. The Jaguars, they get Lee Summit North, they get undefeated Joplin, and they get Rockhurst ranked in the top 10 of the Super 25 poll for Oak Park. There's no picnic either, as they get Blue Springs, then at Liberty, and maybe the top team in the state of Missouri in Columbia Rock Bridge. There we go, 3rd and 11. Ward under center, man in motion, fake handoff left side. Ward drops back, looking downfield. He dumps her off, slips, and they'll get nothing out of the play. They'll actually lose yardage. Jordan Owen caught the ball and his feet just came out from under him.
Yeah, a little play action, actually throw it back to the running back, fake to him, drop back, throw it to him. Had some blockers out front there, didn't he? 3 guys coming downfield. Looks like only 2 defensemen around. Oh, that could have been close.
Yeah, you got some green space out there, and sometimes green equals 6 in the right combination.
Need some new spikes on that turf.
Jordan Owen, the sophomore, and now be 4th and 14, and Oak Park forced to punt. And we'll see if they even give the Jaguars a chance to return it. They'll kick this straight towards the sidelines. Fair catch called by Simpson.
I'll tell you what, Jordan Owen right there, that's 3 kicks now. He's punted a little coffin corner inside on the 10-yard line. So he's kept him in the game. We talked about that field position, and he's been a huge part of that.
Blue Springs South has fumbled twice, given it away. They've also been intercepted twice. The last fumble turned into 7 points for Oak Park as Jarrell Childs ran it into the end zone, and Blue Springs South, they've missed some opportunities to put points on the board tonight, and Oak Park has failed on a couple of opportunities to put points on the board for them.
And I don't know if you'll see that option anymore from Springs South here, just because they put the ball on the ground and they are up. So the more that you can run that clock out, the better it'll be.
7:44 left in the 4th quarter. Blue Springs South with the football, up by 3. And we'll see if they try to run the football and eat some clock here, Chris. There's the handoff to Randolph as he goes up the middle. Got some room on the right side. Oh, flag in the backfield. And we'll see what comes of that. The tackle made by Josh DeGerald, the 6 foot, 215-pound senior. And it's against Blue Springs South.
We've had a lot of penalties tonight. In plays that we've had big runs, we've had penalties, not little short runs here and there. Big, huge outside runs that we've had a penalty on it.
And we'll see where the hold is here. Yeah, it looks like number 75, Ryan Nelson, the sophomore lineman on the play, trying to make a play. So it will be 1st and 16 from their own 5-yard line for Blue Springs South. And they'll send 3 receivers out to the left side. They'll keep Randolph in the backfield. Jersey's becoming untucked now as we get late in this football game. He comes out from his own end zone, immediately tackled, gain of maybe 2 yards on the play. Clock keeps running, but Blue Springs South needs some yardage if they're going to sustain a drive and eat a lot of clock here.
They're going to keep it on the ground. Keep running it, keep running it, keep running it. They have to punt it, they do, but field position is going to maybe be the key come the last drive of the game to win it.
Look at it, second and 13 from the 8-yard line. Greg Oder, so you want to wear the headsets and make the calls?
No.
3-point lead deep in your own territory against one of your biggest rivals?
That's his job.
You guys don't get paid enough. There's the handoff to Randolph again. They're going to keep him to the right side. He's tackled. He lost yardage on the plays. He's brought down at his 5-yard line. He lost 3 yards. Huge play. Brent Haynes, the 5'9", 185-pound junior. Big takedown.
They're playing hot, aren't they, right now? They're playing hot. Look how fast they're moving to the ball. They see it coming, a little misdirection, a little counter play, but look at them all out there.
And he might have been grabbed for a second, able to shed his blocker, and able to fill. How about it? Brent Haynes, big play. He forces Blue Springs South into a 3rd and 15 from their own 5-yard line. This crowd is on its feet here at District Stadium. Snap to Dalton, rolling left side, looking downfield. Pump fakes, he'll keep it himself. He's not going to come close to a 1st down. Gained about 8 yards on the play, but Blue Springs South is in a 4th and 8, and they'll send the punting unit onto the football field. How about that, Chris Sanders, Oak Park? They're going to get the football back with plenty of clock and probably good position.
Plenty of clock, and the defense, huge job. But you also see him right there, a quarterback maturing as a sophomore, play like a senior there. Don't throw the ball into a crowd. Just get as much as you can and punt and get out of there.
Stephen Stroop, the senior back for Oak Park. Back to punt. They bring the heat again, and they just get it away again. And Stroop is going to field this one near the sidelines. He's got it near midfield, driven back, but they'll have the ball at the 47-yard line, short field, 5.5 minutes to play, trailing by 3. Oak Park in business.
These are the 2 best punters. Now, not just pure punting, 2 best position punters I've seen all season in helping their team out, doing the best they can with the ball and getting rid of it.
Oak Park cheerleading squad, knowing their team's got a shot here. Blue Springs South ranked number 2, Oak Park ranked number 12. Both teams undefeated at 6-0. Both teams nip and tuck victories last week. Oak Park went overtime before they got a win over Lee Summit North. And Blue Springs South pushed to the brink by Ray Peck before they pulled out a win. Jared Boone, Stephen Stroop, out to the left side. Ward's going to take it right side. He's immediately tackled. He lost 2 yards. Blue Springs South gang tackling.
Again, all that running inside is not going to work against a defense this strong. All the big plays have come outside. Childs getting outside, Ward getting outside. First half, Alex Rocks getting outside.
Stephon Jackson in there, number 38 for Blue Springs South, the senior. Ward goes to the sidelines as he'll pedal back with a play and bring Boone with him. Clock now under 5 minutes. Oak Park, good field position, 2nd and 10 from the 47. They need points. They need them now. High snap. Ward rolling out, left side, looking downfield. Pressure coming, Blue Springs South. Sack, loose football on the ground. Oak Park dives on it. Blue Springs South thinks they have it. It's all tied up under that pile. Have to peel the bodies back, and I think Oak Park's going to walk out of here with the football. Holy cow.
See well out here. It's kind of holding up. They're just pounding on. Watch Childs actually scoop this ball up. Very lucky there, because that would have been trouble with 4 minutes left in the game.
Stephon Jackson bringing the heat for Blue Springs South. Chasing Ward to the sidelines. Tackling from behind, and that football popped loose. And Oak Park can be thankful they still have a football here with just over 4 minutes to play.
They're thankful they still have their backup quarterback, because he took a tough shot there. Look at him. You know he's hurting.
Fans here at District Stadium, there they are. All right. Might be my favorite fan of the night. That's our Supersonic fan of the game. Bring your Metro Sports sign, your Sonic sign, and you can be picked as the Supersonic fan of the game. You get a $10 gift certificate. It's a teeny tiny little gift certificate, still worth 10 bucks. We'll put you on the game of the week. All right, way to go. Sonic, it's not just good, it's Sonic good. Now Warden to center, 3 running backs, 3rd and long. Drops back to pass, pressure coming from the outside. Jackson forced up into the pocket, brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And the defense of Blue Spring South comes up with a big play as they put Ward on his backside.
And I'm looking down here, and Coach Ross is pointing downfield because they actually have a receiver wide open down the field, and Boone's running it. And I know you're going to watch this, and Morgan Ward's going to say, "You're crazy, that guy's after me." He actually steps up underneath the pressure, and as a quarterback, when you step up like that, you got to look downfield and see what's open before you start running, and he just wasn't able to do that at that time.
We'll see Owen punt again here for Oak Park. I'm telling you what, Stephon Jackson of Blue Spring South has made his presence felt here in the 4th quarter for the defense. High punt. Fielded by Simpson. He'll take it left side. Does he have any blockers? He's got some room as he skips out at the 30-yard line. So Blue Spring South has the football with the lead with just over 3 minutes to play.
Oak Park only has 2 timeouts left. So they used one before when they had the miscommunication on offense to not get the delay of game, so that might come back to really haunt them on this drive.
Wayne Dalton getting final instructions from his head coach, Greg Oder. There's the timeouts left. As you mentioned, Blue Spring South has all of theirs. Oak Park has 2, and they could be very valuable.
Yes.
If their defense can come up with a stop here as they did on the last drive. And there's Dalton. We'll see if they just keep the football on the ground here and try to chew up what's left of that clock and hold on to a victory. There's the handoff up the middle, inside. It looks like Scott Davis. Yeah, that's Scott Davis into the ball game, the junior, 5'8", 160 pounds. Want to remind you, Friday nights at 10 o'clock, Metro Sports, the #1 source for high school sports coverage in the metro area. Don't miss the extreme highlights, scores, interviews, rankings, and stories you're frankly just not going to find anywhere else. It's the McDonald's High School Roundup, Friday nights at 10 o'clock. Of course, all the replays, Saturday at 9 a.m. and Mondays at 5, only on Metro Sports. Mick Schaefer, Aaron Jackson have a lot of fun on that show, almost too much fun.
Yeah, they do.
They should have to pay to do that show. There's the handoff for Randolph as he looks left side, gain of 3 on the play as he's nudging close to a first down. He'll be 2 yards shy.
I like that handoff to Randolph, huh?
Handoff to Randolph.
He gets one more here. They might be putting a nail in this one.
But he likes the sound of it. Jordan Owen in on the stop for Oak Park. 2:20 to play in the football game. And we're going to measure here. It looked like he was short. Still looks like he's short, but better judge of that would be the men down in the field, striped shirts. Regardless, Blue Spring South trying to nurse that 3-point lead over their rival Oak Park. Said each team, perfect record, 6-0. And there's the change. He's going to be about 6 inches short.
When it comes this close, now this is, I'm going to say something totally unconventional here.
Okay, go ahead.
A lot of people are going to say that makes no sense, Chris. You almost want them to have the first down on that, because now 3rd and inches, the chance of getting are very, very high. So first down brings them back to first. They run first down. You get a stop. You get to call. You get to call a timeout. Second down, you get to call a timeout. And 3rd down here, they get it, which is probably going to get it. You see, there's an extra play and extra time to run off the clock.
That's crazy, Chris.
Yeah, how about that? That's deep thinking for you.
Yeah,
That's deep philosophy.
You're the quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what Blue Spring South does. 3rd and inches, critical play. Clock winding down to 2 minutes, 3-point lead South. Quarterback sneak up the middle. And I think he got more than enough as they get the push from that veteran offensive line for Blue Spring South. Kyle Sutoff, Chris Moorfield, Dean Grace, Andrew Owen, Zach Wilson.
So all the guys at home, if you're wondering, what is this guy from Texas thinking he's an idiot? Well, if you see once this ball is set, the clock will start again. Look at O-line. You know those guys are so big up front. He's going to get it. So now this is extra time that's going to run off the clock, and as a defense, that's what you really don't want.
Neglected to mention the tight end, Kellen Bartlett, also in on the push. And they'll send 3 receivers out to the right side, including Randolph in that mix. The lone setback, that's going to be Scott Davis again.
It's just smart. You see Blaine Dalton here, letting the play clock run all the way down inside 3 seconds before he snaps the ball.
Sure, he's got 6 seconds on the play clock. 4, 3, he'll wait as long as he can. 2, 1, and snapped it, and another sneak. He might have got 2 yards on that play.
Now again, That was first down the first one. Now second down, so it'd be third down now. So it makes sense. It's a little crazy. It's a little deep.
Follow your logic,
You got it.
Sanders.
You got it. That's a good SMU education I had for a little while.
See the uniforms of both teams here. A lot of mud, a lot of blood.
A lot of cold, isn't it?
Yep. Clock stops with 1:45 to play. Blue Springs South up on Oak Park, 10-7.
It's not quite as cold when you win.
Now, regardless of the result, should Oak Park come up short here with the district system, the loss really doesn't mean anything because your season, for Blue Springs South, the victory doesn't mean anything because your season starts all over next week as you begin the first of 3 district games.
And that's amazing to me that that's the way it's set up, but I see why they do it, because you can have a game like this, a huge game, and it really means nothing because it's how you finish up.
Personally, not a fan of the district system. I've seen teams go 0 for 7 in the regular season, come back and get some upsets and get on a roll and get into the playoffs, and I think it kind of takes away the significance of some of those first 6 games of the season, first 7 games of the season. But that's what we had to work with.
I wonder if he's in the honors classes at school.
I wonder if he's in the chess club.
Chess club, man.
It's on the knowledge bowl. What do they call that?
Yeah.
He might be.
Yeah.
Far be it from us to cast aspersions.
Sure.
There we go. Blue Springs South with the football. 2nd and 8. Just short of midfield, and that'll be a handoff. Randolph slips in the backfield. Lost a yard on the play. Timeout. Oak Park quickly signals. Only 5 seconds ran off the clock.
Pretty good. They actually got lucky. The running back kind of slipped there and maybe just went down on his own.
They're walking around on the field before the game. We've had some moisture here in the metro area the last week, and the middle of the field's worn down pretty good. There we go. You see his feet kind of come out from under him.
Oh.
Skates down.
They've had that a couple times tonight. Actually, on the screen, we had a few plays that might have been a little bit more, but the guys just fell. And like you said, in the middle right there, there's a little dirt, little grass. It's kind of mixed, as much play as they get on this field.
And Oak Park, that's their last time out, so even if they get the football back, they're going to have to move downfield in a hurry. We have not seen them move the football quickly. We've seen them move it efficiently at times, but the fact that they have not passed the ball very often or had success passing the football means they're not getting chunks of yards.
And some people that don't know, in high school, the play clock's 25 seconds. So whatever happens here, the play will start when the ball is snapped, and after that, at least 25 seconds will run off the clock.
3rd and 8 from the 45-yard line. Blue Springs South needing a conversion. Oak Park, they need a stop. There's the handoff, right side. That's Stephen Brooks, the fullback, and he gets nothing. We'll watch that clock tick down towards a minute and a half to play. Oak Park trying to get their punt receiving unit on the field as fast as possible. They want to be ready to go.
Wow, and they actually just lost about 6 seconds because it does not start till the referee sets the ball. So the regular game clock is running, but the play clock is not until the ball is set.
Bottom line here is Oak Park is going to have less than a minute to march down the field. And now we're changing personnel again as Oak Park.
Well, what's happening here is they think the offense is on the field for Springs, which they're going to call a timeout and then kick it.
Inside of a minute to play, and Blue Springs South does call their timeout, the first one here in the second half. A little strategy being played by Greg Oder and the Jaguars in the Northern Oak Park. Now it's pretty simple. They need 3 points, and they need them right now to force overtime.
3 points.
Don't forget after this football game to stay tuned here to Metro Sports. We'll take you around the metro area and around the country. The Zone with Dave Stewart, Monday through Thursday, 10 p.m., 30 minutes of local and national sports news and highlights. Got your Chiefs, got your Royals, the area colleges, and high school sports as well. Dave Stewart, the man behind the desk. Don't miss it. It's The Zone, Monday through Thursday at 10 o'clock, and it's only on Metro Sports.
That's a lot of sports in one city.
It is. You know, more and more when the local television markets cut back to 2 and 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
We've got 30 minutes, and that's the self-congratulations time, I guess.
There you go.
Plug for the company time. They write the checks, I'll plug it. Now Mack is backed in. We've seen Oak Park bring the heat on these punt plays all night long. We'll see if they can come up with one here. There it comes. 3-4 men on the ball. Short punt. Fair catch called. Stephon Stroop calls it, and they'll be at the 23-yard line. And this crowd gets on its feet. One final chance for the Northmen. 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Trailing 10-7. An undefeated season on the line.
Remember we talked about if that other trick play is going to come out. Let's see if this is it.
Looks like final instructions for Morgan Ward.
Yeah, it looks like Ward said, Coach, I don't remember that play either.
We saw at the end of the first half, the starting quarterback, Alex Ross, out of the football game, came out of the locker room with his arm in a sling, and not a happy look on his face, and Ward has had to carry his team from here. We'll see if he can carry the Northmen to victory. They'll pack it in tight. Oh, we thought about a trick play here.
How about that little swinging gate?
Swinging gate. You're from Texas. You're familiar with this.
I love that.
There's the snap. Ward rolls to the side where there are no players. They bring several players across, in and out of the hands of Stroop. He was in free.
So we got a flag there, roughing the passer again. Ward rolled out and got smacked as soon as he threw the ball. Actually, if you look, they caught Springs off guard. They had more people out here blocking than Springs could have covered.
And Ward was slow to get up after that as he was on the receiving end of a late hit here.
They might also have illegal man downfield. That's something that referees aren't used to seeing a whole bunch. I don't know if that is a call, but they said there's 2 flags.
Well, let's see. Illegal shift and a personal foul. Offsetting penalties.
So what happened there is when those guys shifted, somebody didn't get reset on the line right.
All right, and here's the...
Oh.
Well, that's, you know, you're up in the air before the ball is thrown. That's a tough call.
Well, when he grabbed him by the head.
Yeah. And the personal foul calls normally going to get you some good yards, but it offsets because of their own penalty. 47 seconds left. They need 3 points. They need them now. I formation. Childs dots the I. Ward drops back. Quick pass to nobody. And it looked like Jared Boone and Stephon Stroop, they were out of sync with their quarterback. There's some miscommunication on the play call.
It looked like a screen pass, but I didn't see anybody else coming out. Maybe just a quick little hitter just to get it in his hands and let him run.
And look at Ward coming over to the sidelines.
Just stick him on those gloves. Hold that ball better. Or some, what's the pitchers use? A Roslyn.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure Ward is operating at 100% right now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oak Park will have 2nd and 10 from their own 22-yard line. 45 seconds left on the clock. Good news is they haven't let a lot of time slip away here. The bad news is they're still deep in their own territory, and they're going to have to put it up now. Ward back, looking left side, downfield, launches it down the middle. Does he have a man? In and out of the hand. Oh, it's intercepted. Number 25 for Blue Springs South. Shane Simpson down the field. Left side, a flag comes from the near side. We'll have to see what the call is. 2 flags out on the field as Shane Simpson picked off the pass.
They're both flags are definitely after the play, so that interception is going to stand. And when we replay this, I want you to sit and watch the catch that is made right here.
Heck of a catch by Shane Simpson, the senior corner. His 2nd pick of the season.
And that's the advantage you have at this high school level is most DBs are also receivers, so they're used to catching the ball like that.
And Blue Springs South, we said earlier on in the ball game, they operate with 5 defensive backs, 2 corners, 2 safeties, and what they call a jag safety in Tony Randolph, who walk up to the line and give you a blitz look, drop back into coverage. Causes lots of problems for opposing quarterbacks, especially when you're dealing with a backup in Morgan Ward.
Yeah, this interception is going to stand, so 32 seconds left on the clock. This might be it for Oak Park. Probably a block in the back or something like that.
2 fouls on the play. Personal foul on Oak Park. And a legal block on Blue Springs South. So each of the last 2 plays have had offsetting penalties.
Yeah.
And we'll look at the play again and the outstanding play by Shane Simpson.
Huge play. The ball, actually, watch it, has to reach over top of his head. Ball's coming so fast, can't even see it when he gets down there.
See him drop back and
coming right at you. Look at that.
Wow.
Willie Mays style. Isn't that hard?
You know,
with the receiver with him.
Shane Simpson is a tailback. I might put him out there a little more often.
Coach, throw him the ball.
There's Cameron Bentley of Oak Park out there on the play. They went over Bentley, and Simpson almost looked like he let Bentley run the route a little bit for him.
Tell you what, when they watch that on film, those defensive players are going to say, man, that was, they're going to say, I'll tell you, they're going to say that was sick. And that's good now, sick. What a catch.
They give away those helmet stickers. Mr. Simpson, who's got the lone touchdown for Blue Springs South and an interception that sealed this football game, he might deserve a little extra.
That a game-sealing play, too. I wonder how many stickers that's got to be worth. At least 2, I would hope.
I got to think. 32 seconds left, and it's all but a formality here as Oak Park is out of timeouts and behind by 3. So Blue Springs South is going to leave this football game with their perfect record intact at 7-0, but no time to rest. They'll get Lee Summit North in week 1 of district play. Then they'll be on the road at Joplin. They're undefeated. And their final game of the season, a home game against Rockhurst. Even though Rockhurst has lost twice, one of those losses was to Columbia Rockbridge, the #1 team in the state. The other one was to Blue Springs. And the Rockhurst coaches were told here, Ted Bowen sitting behind us told us the Rockhurst coaches are in the stands tonight scouting. They saw one whale of a football game, Chris Sanders. We came in and some of the experts were saying South might have their way with this football game, but let's give credit to both teams and both coaches. This was one heck of a suburban battle.
It was huge, and the defenses on both sides stepped up. What a game, you know. If you missed it, you better catch the replay because these kids played their heart out tonight.
I'm not so sure if these teams didn't play 9 more times, you might come out 5-5 for each side.
I think so.
Final score here tonight, Blue Springs South victorious over Oak Park. Final score 10-7 as the two teams meet at midfield to shake hands. The crowd here at District Stadium saw one whale of a suburban Big 7 football game. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up. Ivy High School game of the week, the Jaguars of Blue Springs South victorious over the Northmen, 10-7, the final score. Back in the Ivy High School game of the week, Alex Ross, the starting quarterback for Oak Park, knocked out towards the end of the first half, and his team falls to Blue Springs South by a score of 10-7. Chris, you watched this quarterback from Blue Springs South all night long. Bladen Dalton able to run the football. Final numbers for him, 16 carries, 103 yards.
103 yards, wow. And that was the difference in the game. Really came out in the second half, and he took over.
I'll tell you what, the students here at Oak Park tomorrow, when you see your Northman in the hallway, you give him a pat on the back because this was one whale of a football game, and Coach Ross has his team prepared for a team that had an explosive offense, a solid defense, and they came oh so close. They forced turnovers, a couple of interceptions. They forced a couple of fumbles, turned one of those fumbles into 7 points. All right, tonight's drive of the game brought to you by Pontiac. Pontiac, designed for action. It's a 4th and 18 play. Blaine Dalton airing it out for Shane Mack, or rather Jeremy Mack. And that converted a first down, and that led to Blue Springs South touchdown run by Shane Simpson. And Keith Ross no doubt telling his kids, you know what, the undefeated season is gone. This was a tough football game we lost, but we got district play coming up. We got Blue Springs next week on the road. After that, Liberty on the road in a final game against the top team in the state, Columbia Rockbridge. No time to sit back and think about this one. You let it go, you go on to district play.
5-1. You know, it's not. I mean, I'm sorry, 6-1. It's not 7-0, but 6-1. You're still in the hunt.